The alt-rock variation of that theme song. I feel like it's been a while since we've heard that one. I feel like
I was just gonna say, I like that one. I haven't heard that in a while.
It's, yeah, I feel like it's, even though it's random, you know, they say that randomness, like programming randomness into computers is actually extremely tough to do. So whenever they have things that are like random, quote unquote, they actually have like a series of background variables that are manipulating things. Like, some website used to base it based on like where your cursor was on the screen when it started doing its randomization. It would take that those values and then use that as part of the calculation to like inject randomness into the thing, which is just something interesting.
Despite it being random, it still like requires some input from you to try to help mix it up a little bit more. That's
exactly. By the way, welcome to DrawBomb, everybody. Brandon, your microphone's a little quiet. Would you be able to?
Is it?
It's a little
quiet.
It's bloody quiet.
How about now?
About the
Is that
same.
any better?
It's about the same.
Okay, let's see what we can do here.
Wow. Leviathan Den, thank you for
testing.
That's
Test.
popping into the yellows a bit more. It's about the same volume.
Hello.
We're about the same
Are we
volume
louder?
now. I think we're...
It's still the same?
No, like we're the same. Well, I'm a little louder. Like our volume levels are a little bit the same. More the same.
Well, what's that about? Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello. My volume's just low. You know what? Let's just say something again real quick.
How do I sound?
You sound like, let's not worry about it too much. You're a little quiet, but you're just under good. You know what I mean? Like it's like quiet, but like just breaching that.
Well, what's that about?
What is that about?
What is that about?
That's better. I mean, I don't want you to have to like make out with the microphone all the time, but. Anyways, folks, welcome to another episode of DrawBomb. Thank you, Leviathan Den, for the 32-month streak. 33 months of subs. 3-year mark for DrawBomb. Has it? I feel like it's been much longer than.
I think he means
for him
subbing.
Probably, yeah. 36 months would have, I believe. What we started like what 2019? I want to say like Thanksgiving 2019, something like that. That sounds about right to me.
It was a while ago. It's crazy that we've been doing this so long.
Been doing this fruitless act. So it's not fruitless. It's not fruitless. We've had some wonderful things happen. I am glad that we've pivoted from just doing DrawBomb Live to the animations. I feel like that was a positive step for us. I'm a little quiet.
So as well.
I think.
Oh.
I just jacked my volume up a little bit because I did turn my volume. I'm jacking it, bro. I did turn my volume down on my microphone a little bit. Let's see if it's still there. Just because I was tired of peaking. Like I was listening to all of the recordings for like Bouncy Lion Pizza, and I was just like, God damn. It's a little quiet.
In the meantime, thanks Leviathan Den for joining. Thanks Z-Newts.
Thank you, Z-Newts. Thank you, Leviathan Den. Thank you all for being here. I've cranked your volume up a little bit too. We're all cranking it.
Okay. Yeah, I don't feel like I changed anything on my end, but
you sound better though. I think you sound better than. Oh, that was bassy.
Hello.
Rumbled me down to my core. Hello. I can't do that. Got that.
I don't know. I'm just turning knobs. I'm probably making things worse.
I don't know. Well,
why, hello there.
Hey. Wait, so I'll do like the ink spots. I'll be like, I won't set the world on fire. And then you're the guy who comes in and is like, baby, I don't want to set the world on fire. He just like says the lyrics over again, like, but in a beautiful, sultry voice.
Yeah. That's the thing that I think is missing from music these days.
I agree. Like, taken the lyrics that were sung and then just repeating them,
Just
but
speaking them.
yeah, just reiterating. Reiterative music is what we call it. No, we don't. I'm making that up. Anyways, Brandon,
Yes, Ian.
how are you?
I'm great.
Yay!
I'm doing great.
You're doing great.
I had the day off today, so just hung out. It was raining here all day, so we had like rainy movie day.
Nice.
Hung out with our cats. You know, what a great time.
What movie did you guys watch
I was
for the rain?
living life. We watched Idiocracy because Morgan has not seen that, or now she
Oh.
has, but she hadn't seen that.
I actually haven't seen that
referenced a
either.
bunch lately, so we were just like, she's like, all right, what is this movie?
Right, everyone's always saying like, "Oh, we live in Idiocracy," and like they're not
Yeah.
wrong. I actually haven't seen that movie myself. I have not seen.
You know, Mike Judge doesn't miss. So
He don't miss. We always say Mike Judge doesn't miss.
it's true.
And I think that still holds true. We've been watching Silicon Valley with the parents, and I've seen that show already once through. But I'm glad that they're also enjoying it. Because it makes me feel good that I didn't waste their time trying to show them a new TV show
Yeah,
that they haven't seen.
It's always a good feeling when you show somebody something and they're like, cool, instead of just like in the first 10 minutes they start looking at their phone and then
Yeah.
you're like, oh, okay, we don't have to watch more of this.
Yeah,
We're
I'm
good.
sorry. You don't have to be nice to
Sorry.
me.
Wasted your time.
Sorry. So no, they've been enjoying Silicon Valley, and that show. I've mentioned this when I watched it. I think I've seen it. Like recently, I finally watched it all the way through. Like I'd seen the first 5 seasons or so, and then I just decided, like sometime in the pandemic or maybe post-pandemic-ness, to rewatch those seasons and then actually finish the show.
Okay.
But it's amazing like how what that show started. I want to say 2016, something like that. Like
Something like that.
even like math, -3, -4, 7 years later, so much of that show is still accurate. Strangely, like very just smartly accurate, and not like accurate and like, oh, maybe they'll do VR, like just like it's clear that Mike Judge, when he was writing that show or whatever capacity, whoever wrote that show, at least I believe Mike Judge, but I can't confirm, knew what the fuck was up. Cause
Yeah, he at least like took care in what the thing he was writing about, like to make like so often you watch things that are like it's made about something that it's clear that the person who wrote it has no idea what that is.
yeah, just sort of like the layman's perspective without like you can tell when somebody did the research into the subject that they're writing about, and you can tell when they haven't. And that dude either did research or just is genuinely like interested in like big tech and things like that. It's a great show. It's so good.
Love it.
Love it. Speaking of shows, Brandon,
Yes.
have you been watching any shows as of late?
No, I don't. Have we? I don't think we've. I think we're in between things. I don't know. We've been continuing our way through Twilight.
Right.
I've now watched 3 of them.
Yeah, have you? So
There's 2 left.
I believe last time we talked about movies, you said you guys hadn't watched one in a while. So the gang has sort of
Last
picked up.
night we watched one last night. We watched
Awesome.
Eclipse, which in my opinion is the worst one so far.
In a good way, or in like an actual like?
No, just it wasn't. No, I mean none of them are good. This one.
Well, I
just
know,
wasn't
but, like,
fun. This
it
one
wasn't fun
Didn't
good.
had the least to offer. Yeah, it was. Nothing really happened in the story, which is kind of like true about all of them in some capacity, but in this one, nothing especially happened. And they were like they're leaning extra hard into the like, is it going to be Jacob or is it going to be Edward at this point?
Right.
To the point where it was just like those two like, basically like, arguing, and not cool like a vampire and a wolf fighting each other, but just like being like dicks to each other, like fuck you, bro. Like
right,
just
like
kinda
little passive
being, like, bros
aggressive
to each
jabs.
other. Yeah, exactly. And it was just a lot of that backstory about some of the like characters, which I don't give a shit about because they're all like the most bland characters in the world.
Right.
And then the whole like plot of this one was pretty much non-existent. Basically, I'm gonna do some Twilight spoilers here.
Please
In
do.
this
I
one,
mean,
there's this lady that's been met. Have you seen these?
here's the thing. I haven't seen them. I've seen clips, and I read like back when the books finally came out. There was a cracked article. Like this was in high school, so like this is how old these movies / books are. But there's a cracked article that I read that just like very, humorously summarized the books. And so I know everything that happens like essentially in the books from that article, because I obviously have no intention of reading those books. So I assume that the movies do not deviate very far.
Yeah, I think they're pretty accurate from what I've heard from the people who have read them. But so basically, the first one is she comes to this new school. Vampires go there. Apparently, werewolves, they don't go there, but they're nearby.
Just hanging out shirtless.
The whole movie's like her. Yeah, he's like shirtless. I get it now why that was such a meme when these were coming out. The Taylor Lautner's character, whatever his
Team Jacob.
Jacob. He's like, it's almost comical. He's legit shirtless in every scene. Like every scene. Like there's a part where they're like in like a snowy place where she's like about to freeze to death and he's just walking around without a shirt. And like there's a point where it's like pouring rain out and he's just and he runs with a gang of werewolves and they all just run around with like they all look like John Cena. They're like running around in shorts with no shirt on.
Amazing.
And they're just,
yeah,
like
with the cut off jeans, right? Like they're all wearing, or is it
they're
just
like black shorts, but they just all have no shirt and they're wearing shorts and they all just run in like a pack like dogs because they are dogs in this. Anyways,
yeah.
First movie's her like meeting him, realizing he's a vampire, getting in with like his family and stuff like that, and then basically these other vampires find out and they try to kill her because she's a human, and then they kill them, and then the second movie, one of the ones they killed, his girlfriend is like after that her now because they killed her boyfriend, vampire, whatever.
And I feel like we should mention that like the act of killing the vampires isn't like cool or badass in any way, right? Like,
no, it happens in one of two ways. Either they get like punched real hard and they just like break apart like they're made of stone, or they just pop their heads off like Lego head. Like,
that's the one that's
what they try to do is they just yank each other's heads off, and it's not like gory. It's like
it's literally like Lego.
The noise it makes.
Yeah.
They just pop off like a piece, and it's really silly to me, but I love it.
It looks so goofy.
And okay, so the second one, she wants revenge, and so they're trying to protect her. And then there's some weird shit with Edward and Bella where he thinks she's dead, so he's gonna kill himself because he has no reason to live anymore. It's like real like toxic shit.
Real Romeo and Juliet, but like
reversed. That's fully what they're doing. They're doing like weird, depressed vampire Romeo and Juliet thing. And then the third one, this lady's still after them. It's been like the plot for like half the series where it's just this one vampire wants to kill her, but she's not even like there. She's just like she's gonna be coming back sometime, and like there's like glimpses of her. Like it's just so like the stakes are so low, but they act like it's so high. And then finally this one, she builds an army to come kill Bella, and the whole movie's about her building this army, the one that wants revenge. And in the meantime, it's just Jacob and Edward just like fighting in the most like uninteresting ways. And then she shows up and they just beat them all in like 5 minutes. So basically the whole series has been building to this. It was nothing happened. This whole movie was about this fight where nothing happened. And then the movie ends. So that one was dumb, in my opinion. But there's 2 left. I have high hopes because I know some of the things that are coming.
Yes.
I know there's a weird baby.
Yes.
I know there's some fights and stupid shit. I know there's some weird body horror stuff. I'm looking forward to that. I want to see what that's all about.
Yeah, I want to be like, did this happen? But at the same time, I feel like no, and also I don't want to spoil like
wait till
anything that you don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna wait.
We'll discuss it fully.
We'll have a nice big discussion. Again,
but
I haven't seen them, but I've seen clips.
If I had to rank them, I would rank them think in order so far. 1, 2,
Okay,
3.
so the first one was the best one. The baseball game is hard to
think
top.
so. Yeah, the first one is just like. Yeah, I think the first one's the best one. Either the first or the second, but I think the first one. Their
All right.
budget's getting a little better too. The third one, there was a lot of running, but it wasn't. I used to love the running. It was so silly, and this one it actually looked less stupid.
They've improved the special. They got more funding.
Yeah.
Is what happened. They got a higher budget.
They got more funding. In the first couple movies, every time they run around, it looks like they're on like a people mover at the airport. Like they're like their legs are moving slower than their body is moving, so they're just like flying through the woods, and their legs are like not moving at the same rate. They're like on a wire, and it just looks so funny.
You remember that running scene from Kung Pao or not Kung Pao, Kung Fu Hustle?
I don't.
It's like the Looney Tune. Like
it's been a while. I need to see it again.
It's such a great movie, and I've gushed about it on like multiple episodes. But like they have like a scene where they do a chase sequence where they're running, but it's like full Looney Tunes and like they're like Road Runner running.
That sounds great.
Yeah,
But I imagine it looks similar to what I'm talking about.
That's how I'd like. The clips I've seen, it looks like Kung Fu Hustle is doing it humorously, and it still looks better.
Gotcha. Well, yeah. So one had the newness, and it was like a lower budget, so that made a lot of things funny. And also like a lot of the actors in this film, I think I've seen a lot of them do good acting, so I know it's fully a editing and directing issue and writing.
They've got
they were also really young.
Michael
in the beginning,
Sheen.
So like, yeah, but there's no question about him though. He's like acting the shit out of it.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
he was able to like dodge the bad everything, and he's like a beacon of light in this movie compared to everything else. But the first one, I think they're young, so maybe they aren't as good at actors as they are now. On top of everything else being bad.
Yeah, because we also have.
Like,
sorry, go ahead.
It seemed more functional, but that's not helping the movie because part of what I was enjoying was how dysfunctional it was.
Right. And like, I mean, we've got confirmation that Kristen Stewart's a solid actor. We've got confirmation that I haven't seen many movies with her in it, but I hear she's good, so I assume that I'm not being lied to.
Yeah.
But she's been in like respectable roles. But like, fucking I can't remember his name right now.
Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson. Thank you. Why did I think Patrick? Robert Pattinson, we know, is a phenomenal actor. Yeah. He's so good.
We've seen what Taylor Lautner can do as Shark Boy.
That's right.
He's got the goods as well.
I actually saw a clip from Shark Boy and Lava Girl yesterday. Somebody, I think, linked, like in a group chat I'm in, I think somebody linked to a TikTok where it was just a scene from Shark Boy and Lava Girl where like the special effects were going crazy. And it looks...
the one where he's a kid on like a boat and the sharks come up to talk to him?
No, he like turns into shark mode and just like eats like this bird cage that they're trapped inside of.
Sounds wild.
It does. It looks wild. It looks so nuts.
Real quick, Leviathan Den says, B-Chaps, I can't really see your shirt, but it looks like cool sea creatures on it from the camera distance. Very tropical. No, this is in fact all Theo and Ted, my cats. Morgan's mom got this for me for my birthday.
I love that shirt.
But yeah, I'm going to Mexico in about a month, and I was gonna buy some tacky Hawaiian shirts, but she hooked me up. So
Hell yeah.
I'm go now.
Where are you going again? Sorry, I just
Mexico. We're going near Cancun, but not really there. A little bit.
Is that
south,
honeymoon related, or is it just like a vacation?
No, it's my sister is turning 40, and a bunch of us are going. Just
very cool.
Party it up.
I've met your sister, right? Like I must have met her at the wedding.
I mean, she was at the wedding.
Yeah.
I don't know if you met her or not.
Huh. Because I always think about your brother, but I always forget that you have a sister. It just doesn't come
up. I have
much.
4 stepsisters and 1 biological brother.
Right. Okay. Stepsister. That's why. Okay. Yeah.
But my parents both remarried when I was younger, so they feel like real sisters. You know what I mean? Like
absolutely.
They're just sisters to me. It's not like a later in life type thing. So I just say sister. But yeah,
that's
sisters.
Fair.
But
yeah. Okay. I was like, I felt like a bad friend all of a sudden. I was just like,
no, you're all good.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're all older than me, hence one
Gotcha.
turning 40, which I'm nowhere near. Let the record show.
We have at least most of a decade to go until we hit that stage.
I mean, I just hit 33 like a couple weeks ago.
My point still stands. Most of a decade.
Most, that's true. The majority of a decade.
The majority of a decade. Oh god. Whew.
Let's not
dwell.
sit on that too much. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna
There's
start
also
spiraling.
yeah. I spiral enough in the day. Let's not add another
Don't need
spiral
any help.
to the pile. Yeah, I'm straight up turning into what are those things called when you got?
I'm
like,
goddamn
pencil?
Chris Rock in the spiral.
We should have the Bad Movie Night crew start doing the Saw series.
Saw?
I think. Yeah,
If you can,
super
if
down.
you can handle it, bro. Not to out you on
look,
here. But, I mean, that's not
watched-
even like a thing to be ashamed of. I think it's good that you still have like that sense, like you're not fully desensitized like the rest of us.
Yeah,
Somebody's
well,
being ripped like limb from limb. You're like, this is gross. When the rest of us were like, what?
yeah.
Eating
Well,
popcorn.
the thing is, like, I know what I'm watching. Like, if what I was watching was real, I'd be like, fuck no, I'd get me out of here. But like,
Oh well,
obviously,
totally.
yeah. But like, I know it's a movie, so like, there's a part of me who wants to like pay attention because like I have like such a deep affinity for like special effects, practical effects, and you know the gore in movies is a lot of time is like practical effects. So like, there's a part of me that wants to like examine and like observe how they're pulling off what they're pulling off. But then there's also like I guess it's like the empathetic part of me where I see it like what's happening in the movie and I can't not imagine like it happening to me, you know? And then that's where
sure.
I get
I mean,
like,
that's what I do too. I think.
Yeah.
Like everybody has also their like things that give them the willies. Like
yeah.
I think more than others. So for like me, there's certain body, like I don't know if body horror is the term for that when like people are being like with gore and stuff. Either way, there's certain gore things that get me every time. Like if it's anything like a lot of times like teeth or
Ooh, yeah.
fingernails and toenails, stuff like that.
I like
really get me.
The extreme extremities. Like it's like arms and stuff are extremities, but then there's like the extremities of your extremities, and I feel like those.
For Morgan, she gets really weird about cords, like tendons and cords. And
Oh, yeah, we talked about. We had this whole conversation at the pool when you guys were here. I remember this now. Yeah, I was like.
But like for me, like I mean, if certain things like, if I even hear somebody talk about like something they dealt with, I'll just get like weak in the like.
Oh yeah, same.
If it's like the things that like strike a chord with me, but like so I don't know. Like there was a scene in Ozark where they take pliers and rip off Jason Bateman's like fingernail, and that like I like got up and like ran out of the room.
Yeah.
But then I can like watch like Saw where people are just getting like blown to chunks.
Eviscerated.
Like, this is stupid.
Yeah. Like here's the thing, like
I don't
somebody exploding into chunks is way better to me than like watching like somebody not die but like get mutilated.
Well,
like,
Saw is mostly people being tortured.
Yes, but I've watched, so like Your Movie Sucks, YMS on YouTube.
He loves them.
He loves those movies, and like I've watched his review of like he has like a 2-part on YouTube series. It might not be up there anymore because of like monetization and stuff like that, and like YouTube's been cracking down. But like at least as far as last time I checked, like he has a 2-parter series just going over the entire Saw franchise as of up until Spiral was released. And like in that he just straight up shows every scene like of like people dying, and like so I've watched that video at least 10 times because it's one I like to have on in the background because it's also a very funny review because I just like his
Just
style
like that
of
the one where
presenting.
people get murdered on the background.
Yeah, but so like I've seen just so many of the deaths from Saw, and so it's like I'm not gonna be as shocked as I might be like just watching it first time with you guys.
That makes it a little less fun too that you already know.
But it makes it better for me because at least I will be.
Yeah, that's the way it has to go.
Yeah,
but
that's
I'd be down because I have seen the first several, but then I stopped because when I was like in my like I don't know early 20s, late or like even before I was 20, like I thought myself like I was a little more pretentious about my movie watching.
Same.
And I was like these fucking suck, and like I thought like by watching them I was like lowering myself, like
It's debasing yourself
now I'm just
as a
like,
human.
Yeah. Or I'm like supporting this like them making more trash, and I'm just like, this sucks.
Yeah.
So I stopped watching them. But now I'm like, hell yeah, that sounds great. Let's watch those.
Yeah, I feel like
very fun.
As a younger moviegoer, schlock was more of offensive as a concept to me.
Yeah.
We're like the Fast and the Furious series. Like for the longest time, I was like too good. I'm like, oh.
Oh yeah, that's one
up.
specifically that I was like, ew, no, I'm not watching these stupid things. I had friends that would be like, the new one's out, and I'm like, hell no. And that'd be like the reasons I would like pitch to like why I would not watch it. I'm like listing these things like, did you know in this newest movie the runway that they drive down is like fucking like 30 miles? That's so stupid. And I'm like,
that's like my favorite part about
awesome.
that movie. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Or like, could you believe
more
that the Rock
dumb shit, please?
Can you believe the Rock literally flexes out of a cast? And it's like, yeah, that's my favorite part of the movie. Like the parts
more of that. If we can do more of that and less of everything else, we're good.
That one, like 7 is so good. Like, there's so many great moments in 7. Like I still, like again, this is a moment that I would have thought was dumb as a younger lad, like in my 20s, but like now as a more mature adult, I can appreciate just the raw entertainment value of it. But like I love that part in the prison, like that prison escape sequence in 7
with Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah, with Hobbs and Shaw, where they're escaping the prison.
It's so good.
It's so good, and I love the part where
they're like
the guy
kicking people with like the force of a truck. There's people like flying like 30 feet through the air and like hitting the wall and like breaking the cement, and it's just like that was
great.
We're led to believe that The Rock is capable of throwing somebody like a football.
I think he could throw me like a football. I think I completely.
He could throw you pretty good, but you wouldn't go flying through the air like that.
Like when people say like I wouldn't trust them as far as I can throw them, I feel like The Rock can trust me a whole lot.
Yeah, you can get some pretty good distance on people.
Yeah, that's a lot of trust. But
Leviathan Dunn says, love Kung Fu Hustle, one of my favorites. I know there is a message behind the movie. I need to watch it again because you talk about it so much, and I saw it like a while back. Like I think I was in high school still, if that times table holds up, and I think that's accurate. I don't really remember a lot of it.
It's so good. It's just a phenomenal. It's just a phenomenal action movie with like great, like I don't know if there's too much message behind it aside from just sort of like references to like Buddhism and like I'm not sure which. I think I want to say Shintoism, but I don't think that's correct. But you know, there are references to Stephen Chow's sort of religious upbringing, or I'm not even sure if religion is the right word for, like philosophical maybe is a better term. Anyways, there's a lot of philosophy behind it, but I don't know if there's like necessarily the strictest message behind it. But like it's just such a good action movie. It's like you know, they call it wuxia, I believe is how you pronounce it, where it's like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, where you can like jump 1,000 feet into the air and float and like do sort of like they call it, that's specifically called like wuxia, I think it's called.
Type of kung fu, like.
Yeah, that's like a subgenre of like kung fu movies. It's like wuxia, where it's like the Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, we can fly and shit, and like there's that in Kung Fu Hustle, and so it's like that kind of movie. But it's like fucking top tier in my opinion. It's so good, and like, I love that movie. Like I've said this multiple times on this show, but
you have.
Excuse me, I just got like a little bit of the beer is like curdled in my throat. But no. I watched the movie one time for like a movie night with some friends. Got like really drunk and we just watched that movie, and then we were all like, "All right, that was great. See you later, guys." Like it was like the third movie we watched that night. We're like, "See you later, guys. Bye." And I went home. And I got on the computer because I wasn't tired yet. And it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, damn, that movie was so good. And then I just put it on and I watched it again. Like I watched it twice.
That's always a sign. I've done that too for a couple movies. But it's like, those are still some of my like favorite movies of all time.
Yeah, I can't recommend that movie enough. It's so good. Especially if you like good fucking fight scenes. And I'm like a fan. I'm like such a hardcore fan of like kung fu movies. And like fight, like good, well choreographed, or like choreographed, like, and I mean choreography not just in terms of like the actual moves people are doing, but like the camera work, like the overall
the cinematography and
like the holistic choreography. Like I'm such a fan of that stuff. I would love to like animate a dope ass fight scene someday. And that movie's just got it in fucking spades. Like that movie, like that's the scene where the landlords are fighting in the casino with the frog guy. Is so good. Such a great movie. I love that movie. It's so good. I highly recommend it.
Realizing like did I even watch the whole thing? I don't know. It's not nothing. A lot of the stuff you say doesn't ring a bell, so I should rewatch it.
Good. I'm glad I didn't get more specific, because then you can come back and watch it again like it's the first time all over again. But fuck, it's such a good movie. But yeah.
Real quick, were we
yes.
going to do? Sorry, one second. Someone's trying to call me. Were we gonna do a lab tech in with the robot? I'll leave some space just in case we want to put them in there.
So I thought about like that would be a good, like a lab tech would be good placement for
Only
like
when we have like an
a
extra
guest.
person.
Yeah. So like for Ian, I just call him Abramson because it's confusing to call somebody else Ian for me.
Sure.
So
there can only be
Abramson.
one. You live by the Highlander rules of.
There can only be one. That's right.
Singles.
That's right. There can only be one.
If you cut Ian's head off, do you absorb his power?
I hope so. Otherwise, like, what am I doing?
Yeah. Why else are we luring him into this trap?
Yeah, that sounds like a recipe for just getting arrested. Like, hey, you want to explain why you cut this guy's head off? Oh yeah, I thought I would absorb his power.
Highlander rules, bro.
Yeah, Highlander. Okay.
Highlander rules. I'm like, we've seen this before.
Yeah, this is a classic Highlander situation.
We better not mess with this guy. He has the power of 2 men.
That's right. Oh boy, if he finds out how to get to other dimensions and then kill other dimensional versions of himself, like in Jet Li's The One, oh, we're screwed, bro. We're screwed.
Man, I'm so much like we all have. Yeah, I have seen The One. It's been a long time, but I enjoyed it.
Great movie. Not a great movie. It's a hilarious movie. Sorry, go ahead. I
always want to pitch like the movies that are. I want to watch like Highlanders and stuff like that. And
Let's do it.
You guys all want to watch Bloodfart and like.
No, I am.
Like some weird CGI monster movie where it's like the slug. Okay, it was made for $200 by a bunch of college kids. It's a slug that crawls through town and eats everyone.
We had fun watching Gila. Okay, we had fun with Gila. Don't tell me you didn't.
About Gila when I
you were 100% we're talking about Gila. Don't think I don't know. We loved Gila. We were like, here's the thing. I think we have so like they're not like the most entertaining watching, but like just like Knights of Newgate, like we do have a lot of. That one's a great movie. We do have a lot of fun, I think. At least me personally. I don't want to speak for everybody else. I feel like we do have a lot of fun with the movies where like there's a question going on about the filmmaking. Like, cause like for Gila, we were like, why is this movie that was obviously made for like $100? Why does it have like really fancy classic cars just all over this movie? To like, because like the costumes were like half trying to be set in the 50s, and then like you just find like a guy in the background wearing a hoodie and sunglasses, and it's just like, okay, well he didn't try. But then they'd have like 2 classic cars that are like $100,000 each, like street racing each other, and it's just like, what the fuck? How
the mystery of how they got made is some of the best parts. Like,
yeah,
watching like Knights of Newgate, that's like so much fucking work went into this.
Yeah.
Well, how and why?
I legitimately
fully animated.
It's like 90% animated in 3D by like one guy, and I like there's like a category on YouTube of people just like talking about crazy movies nobody's ever seen and just going like, what's this about, and sort of just like recapping the movie. I feel like Knights of Newgate needs that treatment, if not by us, then by somebody, because more people need to know about like what is happening in Knights of Newgate. What is going on? How did this get made?
Most of the trivia we like looked up was like these people went bankrupt like 4 times just attempting to get this done. Yeah,
and I think like by the end of it, we'd sort of come to the conclusion that maybe it was like a money laundering thing, or maybe that was like
But they had to spend a lot of money to make that though. Like it was like an expensive piece of shit. Like,
Yeah.
there's no way that got made for cheap. Like, there's so much like animation, even though it's like so shitty still.
Yeah.
It's like that, the man hours. There had to be a lot of man hours.
Like somebody got paid. Like I feel like I think what we found out was it was by one guy, and he got paid for like 2 years to just like do the animation for that movie, and it was like the son of the guy who went bankrupt.
Oh, okay.
Financing the movie or something like that. I remember like we watched it without Austin, and then Austin was hanging out with us one day, and we're like, why don't we show Austin Knights of Newgate? He'll get a kick out of it. And he did, but he did the deepest dive of all of us and like really dug up the dirt on that movie, and like what we found out was very intriguing.
It was indeed. You want to scoot my camera over a little bit? So actually, I think I can do it. Never mind, we're good.
Oh no, I can do it in the OBS real quick. I don't think that'll ruin things too much.
I already moved some stuff, so you might not have to do anything.
Gotta find out which one. Oh, okay, I see what's happening. Okay. Sec. I got you. I got you. Don't you worry, you pretty little head. Anyways, Brandon, no problem. We're very excited to do.
We are?
This project. I feel like we are. I don't know.
Oh yeah, we are.
Are you excited?
I'm excited. I just didn't know what you were about to say.
No, I understand. It's a lot of times I'm just like, we're doing this, and you're like, are we?
I'm very excited. It's gonna be awesome. We've been working on it for a while now.
I want to say since May.
Yeah, we've been like casually like chipping away at it when we have time amongst our other like work and projects and stuff like that.
Amongst making 9 animated shorts.
Oh shit, we're up to 9. Good job.
Oh.
Right, I was about to pat us on the back.
Kyle.
Zenut says Bloodfart Lake was high art. I know you think that. And Crazy Kyle booed us. Welcome to the show, Kyle.
Kyle, thanks for the boo. But no, I'm super excited for this because like we have been working on it for so long, and I'm excited. I feel like we wouldn't have worked so hard towards this project if Abramson hadn't like agreed. I'm not saying like we wouldn't have worked on it, but like I feel like because we've been so busy with other projects, we would have like not done these Progress Fests, at least not so soon, if it weren't for the fact that like we've got like a guest, like truly a special guest, like who's gonna be in it. I feel like that gave us a lot of impetus to really like one day sit down and be like, okay, we're gonna dedicate 6 episodes of DrawBomb live.
For sure. We should maybe like start after we actually do the first episode. Maybe we do every other episode as a Progress Fest or something like that.
Yeah, maybe. I wouldn't mind that because like we do have to get this work done, and you know we do draw.
I like mixing it up and doing some different stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
From time to time.
I think it's good to have an excuse to like at least work for 2 hours on this project.
Yeah. I don't know, just an idea. We don't have.
No, I think it's a great idea. I am super down for that.
And also, once the show picks up again, we can like we did with Critter Cam, we can just pop into like a sketch and do one in the middle of a episode of DrawBomb.
Absolutely, like especially like
our assets we built.
Especially if because you know with having a special guest for the first episode, it sort of changes maybe how we would approach the recording process for this first episode at least. But once we've sort of done the first episode, I don't think we're going to be necessarily getting special guests every episode.
Right.
We'll probably try and get
have
like
our friends join us.
But they're not special.
No. They're the opposite.
I kid. Our friends are beloved. But no, it's yeah, I think we can get a little bit more freeform with the recording process for follow-up episodes, especially once like we've got assets made that we can like reuse. And I've got so many assets made, like we're not going to be able to use I think most of the assets that I've made for the show in the first episode. I've made so much stuff. for this show. I'm excited. I'm excited to
see it all come together.
I know, like, once we record, I'm gonna pull what I do for the Joel Haver. Like, whenever we do the Joel Havers movies, like, it's great. I'm super happy with the end result of all of those, but, like, it's kind of torture because as soon as we record, I'm locked in my room for the next week, just editing.
You don't have to do that to yourself. If you want to, feel free, but there's no time constraints.
I'm gonna. So, like, I'm not, like, saying, like,
I'm not
gonna
say don't. I'm just gonna say, it's up to you.
No, I'm not even saying, like,
I won't feel like, where's the things, man? You done yet? I won't do that once, so you can take as much time.
I'm not even saying, like, I want to. What I'm saying is, like, for instance, when we were doing the Joel, like, when we did the Dr. Catastrophe's Fantastic Menagerie, I remember the very first night we recorded, or the night we recorded, we finished, we were exhausted, we were tired, we were like, good night, everybody, great recording, we're going to bed, good night. And then we went to bed, and I went down and I lied in my bed for like 2 hours, and I could not sleep. And the only thing, because I just thought about, like, what I had to do to edit it. And so, like, that's, like, in order to, like, get through that night, I got up and I just edited until, like, my brain was calm. And I feel like that's going to happen again with the...
Wow, man.
I'm crazy.
Sick.
I am sick. I'm sick in the head. I've got a fever, and the only prescription is to finish this content. Content. I hate that word, man.
I know. I like using it because it kind of captures the feeling that the whole use of that word makes me feel, like the whole, like, sucking all creativity and, like, fun and art out of something.
Yeah,
just
it
to
feels...
make it like a product to shill. Like, that's why even though it's the official term for it, I like to use it because I feel like it captures that.
When I think of, like, the word content, I almost, like, associate it with, like, regurgitation, almost. Like, I'm just, like, regurgitating, like, a video out of my, like, throat to, like, spit onto a plate and be like, here you go, here's your content.
Such a, like, there's just no flavor to it. It's, like, the most bland word you could use to describe, like, some, like, art you've created.
Yeah. I really respect, Joel Haver had, like, he has his, secondary channel, Joel Haver Watches Movies, I think is what it's called.
Yeah.
And on that, he had a video where he specifically talks about why he calls all of his work movies and not, like, content or videos or things like that. And it's because he has too much respect for himself. And I respect that, but I don't have that kind of respect for myself.
I don't really use content unironically. Like, I pretty much only use it when I'm, like, talking about just, like, how shitty the whole, like, machine is for all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, here's, like, I've never used the word content. It's and like, not wanted to do, like, if I've used the word like, I try not to use the word content because I hate that word, but, like, if I use it, I almost want to accompany it with, like, a spit on the ground, like content. That's almost how I approach it. Yeah, I fucking hate that word, content. Because but, like, it also speaks perfectly to, like, we're feeding the machine more than, like, the YouTube machine more than we are, like...
You have to please the overlords.
The goo gods.
Anyways, so we're making some content.
We're making content! Crazy Kyle says, I'm gonna call you daily and say, is it done yet? Don't. I swear to God.
You shouldn't have said don't, because now he's like, it just went from, like, a joke to, like, an actual plan now when the moment you told him not to do it.
Yeah. He's gonna, like, call me one day, like, the third time, and he's gonna be like, is it done yet? And there's gonna be a gunshot. Just,
over the phone? Oh, yeah. Like, to yourself, I get it. I thought you meant, like, you were gonna shoot him, but I'm like, but he called you. How does that work?
No, I'll do it, like, in Kung Fury.
Coming from inside the building. Just shoot him through the phone.
Yeah. It's a fun short film. It's a fun short content. I am Hacker Man. Yeah. content.
Okay.
Content.
Have you watched the One Piece thing at all yet?
No, I haven't, but I've heard it's good. People are saying
I've heard it's
like
good. I want to check it
good.
out because I was kind of like considering. I have a few friends that have really been into One Piece lately, and I was kind of considering it. But I'm also like, it's like 1,000 episodes long, man. I don't know
Yeah.
if I can do that to myself. But this seems like a good, not to say that necessarily it compares, but it seems like a good entry way. If I love this a lot, maybe I'll go watch the cartoon or the
Yeah.
anime. But like, yeah, I don't know. I think I'm gonna check out the show sometime.
Kyle says oh, Kyle's talking about Valheim, but he also says don't watch the filler episodes. Yeah.
Well, yeah, sure.
What's interesting, so I follow this writer on Instagram. I think his name's like Michael P. Jammin or something like that. He's kind of a dork, but he's also very insightful sometimes. But like I started watching because he was talking about the writer's strike and giving interesting updates, but he also gives like solid actual like background, like behind the scenes info about like working as a writer in Hollywood and also like writing tips. And sometimes he does clapbacks. Like I'm not a big fan of like watching clapbacks on Instagram. Right. I'm like, sure, whatever, do your thing, but I don't know. I'm not super interested in watching somebody be like, oh, your post is stupid and here's why.
Agreed.
But so I watch this guy on Instagram or I follow him. I don't watch him because Instagram is just kind of like, oh, I ran into this video by this person today, but he had one about how about filler, quote unquote filler episodes, and I thought it was an interesting discussion. And I the word filler episode definitely applies differently to anime, I think, than it does to a TV show.
Most of the time, isn't it?
It's a budget thing. It's also like in anime, it is like a budget thing, but it's also like it's in relation to the overall story arc and like catching up with the manga, because like so many anime are based on a manga first.
Sure.
So like he was talking about like how people refer to episodes of like shows he's written, and he wrote for Cheers, he wrote for Just Shoot Me, he wrote for I think Scrubs, and he talks about some of his episodes that he's written being referred to as filler episodes, and it was kind of like, well, and it made me think about, so like a lot of the times we talk about TV shows, and I talk about how, at least I feel like I talk about how I like smaller moments in TV shows where you really get a feel for the characters.
Yeah.
And things like that. And I do like, I like episodes where it's not necessarily advancing the overall plot, but I get a bit of insight into a character. And so I haven't watched, I think, as much anime as a lot of people who are like really into anime. So I don't have a lot of frame of reference for like a filler episode in an anime, but I will say Ted Lasso season 2 definitely has 2 filler episodes in it.
I know,
because you could just feel like you can feel it when you're watching those episodes. You're like watching, you're like, did they write the whole season and then they like had to squeeze these 2 in because they got like an extra 2 episodes in the deal? And it's like, yes, that's exactly what happened. But like, so when I think about, so I haven't watched a lot of anime, so I haven't seen a lot of quote unquote filler episodes for anime, but I have to wonder if like so those filler episodes are made primarily for budget as well as to give the manga time to catch up with the show. And I wonder, like, are those filler episodes like not giving us any sort of insight into these characters, or is it really just like might as well be like finger puppets, just going like, oh hey, here we are.
I think good filler will give you some like character development, but I think the issue is also sometimes the audience. So like I think some of these shows are like aired on Nickelodeon or something, and so even though there might be like a really good like the examples I'm thinking of right now, and I haven't watched that much of them, but I've watched enough, and I know my brother likes it a lot, so I've heard a lot. But like if you're talking about like Avatar or like Naruto,
mm-hmm.
Naruto, however you say it, those are on like networks that are primarily geared towards children, so the filler episodes are almost tonally like
just completely different,
more childish.
Right.
I don't know. It all depends on the show, but I think that's an issue with some shows where the serious episodes where the plot's developing, it feels like a story that anybody could enjoy, but the filler episodes almost feel more geared towards children on a lot of those shows.
Interesting. Okay, that's an interesting insight into that.
Maybe somebody who watches more anime than me, which is I don't watch a lot, will disagree or have more insight, but that's just kind of the vibe I get from it.
Okay, Kyle is actually when like growing up in high school, Kyle was like the anime guy in our friend group, so he's actually commenting right now on it. I'm gonna read what he's written because I'm sure he's gonna have some extra insight for us. He says, so a lot of the time, if you love an anime, you want more insight with the filler too, but it's also because those aren't in the manga, not the same as in the TV show, like Western TV shows, like sitcoms, things like that. A lot of filler is so bad and different. And then he says that he agrees that, yeah, the tone is wrong, so it's like he's agreeing with you that it's tonally inconsistent and it becomes like a different vibe for the show. He says, some have okay filler, but a lot of stuff that isn't canon is wrong tone. Good point. So there you go.
Okay.
So yeah, so like what I saw, so like I went looking through the comments in this Instagram video this guy posted, because I'm a masochist, but also because I was interested in seeing, because like when he mentioned filler episodes, I was thinking about like episodes of shows I've watched that were I consider filler maybe, and I didn't have a lot except for those Ted Lasso episodes I mentioned, and that's like one of the most salient examples I can think of because it felt so filler.
It felt like it was written by somebody else.
It felt like it was written by somebody else. They're just like so tonally inconsistent with and like divergent from the rest of the show. And it's like they kind of like muck up an otherwise like really solid season. I was reading through the comments and somebody brought up an interesting point, and I don't agree with them, but I'm curious what your thoughts are on this person's comment, and I'm not going to read it. I'm just going to say they called the Fly episode in Breaking Bad a filler episode. Not the guy who made the post, but like one of the comments did. And I disagree because I felt like that episode was very illuminating for the type of character that Walter White is.
Yeah, I think sometimes people maybe mistake, because filler episodes often are like lower budget things. Maybe they mistake like a bottle episode or some episode where there's visually like not much happening.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, granted, there's a lot of like flashbacks and stuff in that episode, right? Like and then it keeps coming back to him in the lab. I don't remember exactly the episode.
I don't remember.
But it's not just. Is it just Walter in the lab with a fly?
Oh, Jesse's in there too. I think Jesse's in there too. Like I think
he leaves at a certain point.
Yeah, because Jesse gives up. I think that episode is like, because like that episode is sort of not like it is like sort of like a stopgap.
Like a character study of Walter though.
Yeah, because it's in between.
It's like obsession.
Yeah, it's in between like some big moments in the show, but like it does illuminate some of Walter White's character as being a control freak, as being obsessive, as being like once he sets his mind on something, he really doesn't deviate until like that thing is done.
Right.
And like the writing in Breaking Bad is just so good. Like I feel like there are some episodes where like maybe Vince Gilligan was writing it and going like, oh, this is just fucking filler, but like it doesn't come across that way because like the writing in that show is so phenomenal. But it did make me think of, I don't know, I just was thinking about that and like filler episodes.
I think that episode maybe what I was trying to say, but that went on a tangent, was I think maybe because it visually seems simple, people think that's what filler is, but I don't think filler is just simplicity. I think it's just like trying to buy time, like you have a certain amount of episodes you got to make, or
yeah, absolutely,
or you don't have the budget to do the big episodes every time, so you just have to do one small one. I don't think it wasn't like a flashback episode like on the old
that's a filler
sitcom
episode for sure. Is like a clip show episode. Yeah
So I think because it was kind of a bottle episode, they're like, oh, it's filler, but I don't agree that that's the same thing.
Yeah,
and they had like an intention with that episode.
Yeah, I feel like you would call the Fly episode filler in Breaking Bad if you're like a person who watches Breaking Bad and like you get bored if somebody's not like shooting somebody else, you know?
Yeah,
And like
that's
you don't
which
give a shit about the deeper character study.
there's a lot of people that way. Not to like judge them, but like I talk to a lot of people where I'm like, watch Breaking Bad, and they're like, it's too slow, and I'm like, but the slow stuff's where like the magic happens.
Yeah, it really
I don't know.
it's such a well-written show.
I
Like
did
it's
admit I was pretentious earlier, so
that's true.
take
We
what I
are
say with a grain of salt.
we are pretentious. Like we love our schlock, but we also do love our deep like writing, I think both of us can agree to that, right? Like we like to examine thematic elements and like subtext and things like that. Like one of my favorite things to consider in a script or something like that is like subtext. Not to sound like a floofy like subtext,
Right.
but
And whether we're good at it or not, that remains to be seen. But we like to like
I'm not.
try and dissect stuff. You know, whether we're good at it, I don't know. But
Yeah,
it makes it more fun, at least for us. I feel like. I mean, that's what the show is. 90% of the time is us trying to like break stuff down. Just
yeah,
for our
we're trying to
own.
break bad. But yeah, I do because like I remember when we watched Parasite in theaters, like we were like discussing like what themes and like metaphors were happening in that movie. For a while, like after that, like we were like kind of like, oh, I thought about this, I thought about that. And I think at least for us as moviegoers, and we maybe aren't in line with most people because most people are dumb. um, but like if I watch a movie, I like to have something to chew on, you know? Like I like
Right.
to
Agreed.
have
The
something to
real
think
fun
about.
of the movie is like thinking about it after the fact.
Yeah,
I'll
like
mention something real quick that says anime is usually or strictly non-canon equals filter. So maybe a lot of filler. So maybe a lot of times it's non-canon, and that's the issue in those.
well, if it happens in the show, it is canon to the show at least. So like the
I mean, not if
canon
next week it picks up like with like things that happened in that episode, and not even like seeming to
right,
be
true.
present.
Like if a character like makes like a big emotional speech and then or like some like turns a corner on some sort of personality trait and then the next episode they're like back to who they were before, that definitely makes that episode feel like filler.
Hey, I thought he got his arm cut off last episode.
Yeah.
No, it was a filler one.
I thought he had resolved his daddy issues. Now he's back to being worried about his dad.
It's a weird filler episode if they're.
Yeah. I feel like I've seen that. Like Scrubs, I feel like is a show where they'll have an episode where a character will like make a breakthrough on something, and then like the very next episode, it feels like they're back to the normal. Like I think sitcoms
Like filmed out of order or something.
maybe, or just like they just go back to status quo because that's easier. You know, there's a lot of I feel like sitcoms. It is frustrating. I feel like there's a lot of sitcoms that will have character development that they'll then like completely disregard for the sake of just having a status quo, and that annoys the shit out of me.
In sitcom world, you have to start at the like I don't know the you have like your base that you always start at for every episode, and you have to get back to that by the end of the episode so that you can just keep writing the.
Always gotta start at square one.
That haven't changed.
Yeah, and that like I understand why sitcoms have a status quo, and it's because that way somebody can jump in at any episode and like understand what's going on. They don't have to like get some backstory
because reruns.
Built for reruns, built for watching out of order. Because like you can't really watch Breaking Bad out of order. You can't.
Right.
Maybe you can watch like once you've watched the show enough and you remember the sequence of events, then yeah, sure, go ahead. But like you can't like jump into Breaking Bad like season 3 episode 2 and be like, oh yeah, okay, I got it.
So this guy makes rock candy, and some guy who makes chicken feels threatened by him. I don't really
weird. This is a weird
I
show.
understand this show. I think I
get
understand.
it. Yeah, there's a lot of like Scrubs. I feel like strikes me as like a particular example where like I feel like characters would make developments in their character, and then I'd feel like if not by the next episode, by the next season, like we're back to square one, and that
it's annoying.
Is really frustrating, especially because like I have a lot of complaints about Scrubs. I love Scrubs as a show, but the first season of Scrubs is so tonally different from the entire rest of the show. I feel like the first season of Scrubs is much more grounded, and like characters react more realistically to things. And then like immediately by season 2, like they like are like, I feel like season 2 is when they added in JD going like whoo anytime somebody throws him, or like he'll get thrown like once an episode and make like a whoo noise. And like I feel like by that point I'm like, well, there goes any semblance of the show having that, because like because like once you have
all
all
the route of like Community, where it just like got silly. Like I love Community when it gets silly, but it definitely started as like more of a sitcom and turned into like a different thing.
Yeah, well, so like Community, at least for season 2 and 3, but like Community at least started out as your very sort of standard like sitcom, but at least like when they shed that, they at least shed it for a different, still like good skin, you know? Like when
that's fair.
When Community shed its sort of like standard sitcom aesthetic, it then took on like, now we're sort of picking, like they did the to bring up anime again, they did the Excel Saga thing where they pick one very specific like genre, trope, or like just like cliche that happens in like sitcoms or movies or TV, and then they like took that to its logical extreme. And I feel like that was a good pivot for the show, because that really like I don't think people really dug into the show until season 2 when it made that pivot.
Yeah, it would have run out of steam and probably got canceled.
For sure.
Even though I do like season 1 for what it is, it would have probably not lasted.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like it was a great show, season 1, but like once it hit season 2,
it was on network TV. So
yeah.
Over there, you got to be like millions of viewers a night, or you just get canceled. Doesn't matter how many people like it.
Yeah, if you have 1 million viewers, they're like, it's too few. It's like, what the fuck?
Exactly. Yeah, network TV. It seems like, I imagine it pays better, but it's got to just be like the most stressful place to work is some kind of creative.
Yeah. Like if you get lower than like 7 million viewers for an episode, that's like you're on the chopping block, and it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and the people who are actually like doing the Nielsen ratings are like 100 years old, because nobody our age has ever done a Nielsen review survey.
Yeah, never ever in my life. But Al says Firefly, sad face, feels strong, man.
I know.
Yeah. So like, but like Scrubs does get silly, but I feel like, so whereas Community shed its standard sitcom fare to become a better show, Scrubs shed its like half comedy, half drama to become more pure comedy. And that was maybe more palatable to a wider audience, because the show did go on for like 8 seasons and then like a really terrible spin-off that went on for a season with like Dave Franco. But I still think that
like that.
Yeah,
like Scrubs the New Class or whatever the
yeah, that's what it's called, I think.
Is that, I mean, that's what they did for what? Saved by the Bell?
They did do that for Saved by the Bell, where they went to college, I think.
Great stuff.
Good stuff. But yeah, so like Scrubs season 1, I feel like is such a different vibe. And like Scrubs episode 1 of season 2 is like halfway back in that old thing, because they will have like their good character. Like, and Scrubs still had like its dramatic moments, but I felt like so many of the dramatic moments were buoyed, like leveraged, like, or not leveraged, what's the word I'm looking for? Buoyed is, I guess, a better, like, they were elevated by the fact that like it's a hospital, people die in hospitals, this is gonna be sad, like sure, that's gonna happen, but like they would have people, like they would have serious character drama and like insight into like the work of like hospital workers. But then, like, in between, they'd have JD being like, well, you know, Dr. Cox and I wanted to pee on each other's pee-pees, but we couldn't pee on the pee-pees. And then, like, the next scene will be like, I'm sorry, but I've killed 3 people in the surgery table. And it's like, oh my god, mood whiplash. Whereas, like...
And then like, the one character's depressed for, like, 2 seasons because of something that happened, and then...
Yeah. I know these...
Peeing on pee-pees.
I know the specific arc you're talking about, and yeah, it's a very perfect example.
I never got that much into Scrubs.
Oh,
I know a lot
okay.
of people loved it, but I never really...
It's a great show.
I tried a few times, and it just didn't land for me, not because I think it's bad, but it just... I mean, it just didn't wasn't my favorite.
Because you're an uncultured swine is really what
Exactly.
it comes down. But no, but like season 1 of Scrubs, like I feel like they leveraged those character moments more effectively because like sure JD was goofy, he had his flashbacks or he had his like imagination like thought bubble moments that like became way more prevalent and like they were basically
Ally
like
McBeal in it the whole time.
they were like Family Guy cutaway joking it. Like they were doing the same thing.
That's true.
Or I haven't seen
Popular
Ally
back then.
McBeal, so maybe Ally McBeal I'm sure does the same thing.
She's just got a wild imagination, so wacky zany things happen inside her head.
Oh boy.
You don't want to see what's going on inside this head. Said
Maybe that
Ally
was a
McBeal,
trope.
but you do.
For like that area of TV. Maybe that was just a thing people did. Maybe. But yeah, I feel like once like by season 2, Scrubs had already decided like we're gonna shed this more dramatic aspect of the show and just become goofy. And it was very funny when it was goofy. Don't get me wrong. Like I still think it was a very solid show. But it wasn't as good as it was in season 1. And this is just a minor... This is like a complaint I've had for years.
Finally get a chance. You get a platform where you can, say what you want to say.
Kyle says, is it possible you were looking for too much from Scrubs? No, because it was there in the first season. Like, they had it in the first season, and then they got goofy. And
Also,
again...
Kyle, famous sexist, says... I loved all of it except for Carla. Carla is a terrible person. And I'm assuming he's saying that because she's a woman. Or she's a woman, yeah, I think.
yeah, he hates women.
Kyle,
we all know Kyle.
His track record speaks for itself.
Kyle says, no, she's a legit bad person. So here's the thing. I feel like I remember a good amount of Scrubs, but I don't remember Carla being, like, super terrible. I know they had the one episode where her and JD accidentally kissed. Which is a weird episode, but I don't necessarily remember her being... Like, she sucks sometimes, but every character also sucks at different points in that show.
Have you been getting the YouTube ad with Dr. Cox?
Yes, constantly.
And he's just, like, pitching some, like, weird company.
It's like a phone without, like, a SIM card.
And he's like, I can't think of what it's called, but some stupid, like, bad company name, and he just keeps saying it over and over, and he's just dressed like a doctor, and it's just like, what?
He's being Dr. Cox in that commercial. Like, he's 100% being...
Yeah, that's what they're going for, and it's like, are you okay? Are you doing all right, man?
Yeah, you're right. It must be weird when you're, like, you've had such a successful role that, like, the rest of your career is, like, people being like, no, but can you be Dr. Cox again? And it's like, I'm capable of so much, you know?
Yeah. I think Jason Alexander famously was, like, somebody who struggled with that a lot, and he's, like, a very good actor. Like, guy played George on Seinfeld.
Yeah. He does a very good role in, like, I'm not a fan of the show Young Sheldon. It's a very frustrating show, but parents watch it, and I like to hang out with the parents when they watch TV, so I've seen a good amount of Young Sheldon. He does have a role in that show, and he plays like a completely different character, and he does a great job. So I'm like happy to see him getting other roles. But yeah, that is like a thing that he famously, like, I feel like I've read that Elaine, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, I don't know how you, Louis-Dreyfus? Louis-Dreyfus?
Louis.
Okay. Julia Louis-Dreyfus, she's like had the most success post Seinfeld, which is fair because she's also like my favorite character on Seinfeld. She's so good in that show.
Whatever happened to Kramer?
I think he did racism.
Whatever happened to that guy? Boy,
yeah.
Kramer, he had his craziest scheme yet, and it really did not work out for him.
Oh, Jerry, have I got something for you? My friend Bob Sacamano went to my stand-up show the other night.
Yeesh.
Oof.
Anyways, moving on.
Kyle says she's terrible to Turk. Spoilers. I don't remember too much about her being terrible to Kirk or Turk. But I also, again, I don't remember every... No, that was... I don't know. You spelled Turk right.
Spelling.
Oh, spelling. I see. No, you spelled Turk right, I'm pretty sure.
I was about to ask him, like, does that mean spoilers? I thought that meant spelling forever. I'm an idiot. It turns out...
It took me
You were the big dumb.
I was the dummy. It took me so long to learn what. You ever read something and then you see like brackets and then sick, S-I-C?
Yes.
And it took me the longest time to understand what the hell that was. But now I'm glad that it's there because it's almost like it's kind of funny when you find a sick in the wild.
Yeah.
Do you know what the sick?
It means they like cut part of it out, right, or something. I forget. I've known the explanation, but I don't remember.
So like they
I don't
do
see it
that
as much as I used to.
They do that sick when somebody like they're quoting something directly, but the person quoting it made a typo or like some sort of like grammatical error. So they like so when somebody fucks up and they're quoting that person directly, they'll do the sick afterwards, and that's basically like the author saying, "I didn't fuck that up. That's not a mistake on my end."
The original person did. Okay, that's really funny.
Yeah. That cracks me up every time I see it, because I just feel like I can feel the writer being a little snide when they type that sick there.
Feels a touch passive aggressive.
It's a little passive aggressive, yeah.
That's
funny. But yeah, sick. Dude, that's sick.
So I was for these TVs.
Yes.
I was gonna make one of them broken. Should I like animate like the like fuzz, or like should we just put a video behind one of them? I don't know what would be easiest on your end, because I'm thinking like when we film it, you should take your camera source and duplicate it a bunch of times and put it behind all the different screens.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Would that work? That was my original idea with that while building this.
So I've actually been like thinking about like how I'm gonna approach this sketch, because it would be cool to do it live and probably more convenient if I duplicated my head as the source, put it on each of the TVs. But I would also like what I think, because like it would also be more effective in a way if I like put the heads in the TVs in post. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Because like when I think about the recording, like doing it live in the OBS, having like the TVs on the heads in the TVs is convenient. It's more fun that way. And I think fun is a big factor that we should definitely consider when we're making this, is like, let's have fun with it, you know? But I do think having like the raw assets and like footage, you know, is gonna leave us with more leeway. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't know.
We'll have to play around with it. We'll test it out. Either way, I'm leaving these, as you can see right now, the white part is transparent, so we can put stuff behind them. This I
don't know if this is weird, but I feel like when we're recording with Abramson, I feel like we should do more of it live in OBS, because that'll be more fun for him.
Oh, totally.
Whereas if we're recording for ourselves, maybe it'll be more sensible to do it where we have more like the raw individual elements for me to splice together in post, you know? I don't know.
I would like to do a lot of it live, because I mean, we have our cartoon stuff on the side. This is more of our improv stuff.
Yeah.
And part of the fun is like trying to
make it happen.
Trying to do it on the fly. You know? And just like sucking at it sometimes, or having like, you know, some really good moments occur. I don't know.
That's the thing, is I agree,
I
but
guess
I
if
also
the first time we're doing it mostly live, then I guess that will give us a good idea.
Yeah, 100%. And I think like I want to try and so like there's an OBS plugin I actually have called Source Record, where supposedly like if my camera is a source that we're using in a scene, I can still record the raw camera data, you know, from OBS as a separate file. And that would be perfect, because then if anything fucks up, I can sort of clean it up in post while we still do the live aspect of it. Right. But every time I've tested out the Source Record plugin, it doesn't work. So that kind of like kills that. Like I was trying to do that with when we were recording the wrestling stream, which I still got to edit that. But the wrestling stream. I was thinking
about the other day. That was so fun.
That was so fun. I want to do more, but fuck, there's so much to edit.
I know.
But that's like one where I try to do source record on at least like us, like announcing, so that like I could like manipulate aspects and things like that, but none of it actually worked. I've learned a little bit about OBS since we did that stream, especially like learning how to separate the like I tried to get the audio tracks separate with that stream, and the way I did it then completely failed, whereas now we've got a format for that where it works, and like I know how to make it actually function. So it's like we're still kind of feeling our way around the setup a little bit, but you know,
this is all just an experiment all the time, so
it really is. Yeah, like, you know, no one,
we're doing it for fun. No one's paying us, so
bro.
We'll figure it out. We'll play around.
Yeah.
And you guys can all be along for the ride if you feel like being along for the ride.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's just that's been like a question that's been very present in my mind, is like how, because I do want to put the oh my god, somebody's offering us promotion in the chat. Wow.
Whoa. Hi, I want to offer promotion of your channel. Viewers, followers, views, chat bots. Oh my god. Ian, are you reading this?
I can't.
The price is lower than any competitor. Oh, it's a deal, dude. It's a deal. Well, okay, we got something good here. Okay.
We gotta go to dogehype.com.
Oh no!
Oh, Kyle!
I was trying you ruined us.
I was trying to find the ban button, but they don't put it in the OBS.
I assumed it was they were like gonna get banned any second. That's why I was reading.
I was looking for it, but I could, like, that in OBS they just have pin and they have reply. They
Kyle, that's why we pay you the big bucks.
Thank you, Kyle. Kyle earning his keep as moderator.
Yeah. If your check gets lost in the mail, that's on you.
Yeah. You fucked up.
Take it up with your supervisors. Kyle, who works for the post office. I'm doxing him now. They're gonna be able to track him down with that little bit of information.
They're gonna totally know.
And there's a lot of people in our circles looking for Kyle.
Yeah, they're trying to track him down, like in Breaking Bad, when they get tracked down. So yeah, I've been considering the recording process, but I do lean, especially with having a guest, because it's more fun for them. Having everything done, it's also more fun for us, and it's less that I have to do.
There can be stuff done in post, but I think it can be messy, and that's okay, because that's the nature of this whole project, is kind of just like improv-y animation, which is inherently an unheard of thing to do.
yeah, where we are sort of, I don't want to say we're breaking new ground or anything like that, but it is like we're doing something that's
breaking new bad.
We're breaking new bad, that's right.
Like in that show, Breaking Bad.
Oh my god, that's why they call it that. But no, I definitely want to utilize this sort of format more for, what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say a sentence. Anyways,
you said it.
I think I said it. I did it. Man, it's a shame we couldn't buy those followers from dogehype.com.
We were going to, but Kyle ruined it for us.
Ruined? I mean, we could still go to dogehype.com. That website's not gone.
I mean, we'd be fools not to. That's dogehype.com. Dogehype.com.
Right. Anyone who also has a Twitch channel, go to that website and buy some followers and get banned. That's less competition.
Do you get banned for buying followers?
I think so. I think you get, or I guess not, because like there's been this whole drama, or there was a whole drama. I think like, you know, as with everything on the internet, it kind of died down after a week. But there was like some talking, because there's like this person on Twitch called F Extra Life or something like that. They run apparently some shitty wiki for video games, and like if you go to that wiki, there's like embedded Twitch players in the corner, so like that's just adding views to like the F Extra Life Twitch channel, which then puts it at the top of the list of like the Twitch channels that it's like streaming on. And so they're like essentially gaming the system, and like there's a whole like hubbub about that happening last week, I want to say.
Gotcha.
because people were talking about it. And like they haven't been banned because there's, I guess, technically nothing against the rules banning you from like you're not allowed to view bot, but embedding isn't strictly disallowed on Twitch, I guess is what it comes down to.
Interesting. I learned so much from you and Kyle about Twitch. Even though I use the platform a lot, I don't seem to know anything about it.
I find it so funny. Like we were made affiliates on Twitch years ago. Yeah. And like it wasn't until I was trying to like personally get affiliate status, I want to say 2021, that I actually learned what the fuck affiliate actually means. Because I remember like Kyle was like, "Oh, you guys hit affiliate," and we were like, "What's that?"
You're like, "Oh, we did? Hell yeah! What is that?"
Yeah, what's that? So it's interesting, like the rate at which I'm sort of ingraining the Twitch culture in my brain. Kyle says, yeah, ethical gray area was discussed before. I remember people being weird about embedding Twitch channels and pages years ago. Yeah, people were always weird about it, but like nothing's come of it, because like that F Extra Life has still been like blatantly doing it. And so like that was like a topic, because somebody brought it up on, like a big streamer brought it up on their stream last week or something like that. I forget who exactly. And so like that person responded. And then, like, you know what happened is Baldur's Gate 3 Reddit specifically banned F Extra Life from, or like links to F Extra Life, or like banned F Extra Life from posting, because like F Extra Life also has like bots and mods for Reddit that basically spam links to their, like if somebody were to like post a question about a game that's like covered on their website, and when I say covered, I mean like they barely have info and it's like usually incorrect. So the Baldur's Gate 3 wiki or Reddit specifically banned links to F Extra Life, or banned F Extra Life from posting, because of like them gaming the system essentially. And then that caused like the beginning of everyone talking about how like bullshit it was all over again. And again, I don't think anything's come of it. So.
Well, turns out I don't care that much about whether they do that or not, I guess. I mean, I guess I use the platform, so I should care.
Yeah, it does technically, like... Look at all this sweat. It does technically, Wow! It's like a fucking oil stain underneath my armpit. What the hell is that about?
You're sweating grease over there.
Guess so. This is what you get when you eat ribs. With barbecue sauce.
That's exactly what you get when you eat ribs. I've seen it a million times.
Mm. This man's watched me eat ribs. No, you haven't. You actually haven't watched me eat ribs.
I watched you eat ribs.
Oh, that's right. You had ribs with us. You were there.
We ate ribs. That was one of the meals we had.
That's right.
Don't try and say I haven't watched you eat ribs, you
I'm
motherfucker.
sorry.
I watched you eat ribs.
I'm sorry.
Saw it. I drove 10.5 hours to watch you eat ribs, and now you're trying to say I didn't see it. Fuck you.
I drove those 10 hours only for you to say I didn't watch you eat ribs?
God damn it. Is it all for nothing? Jesus.
That's what happens when you eat the ribs. I got a little Australia
underneath barbecue sauce.
It's a little heart-shaped.
Oh, cute.
My armpits love you. Yeah, it's a thing on Twitch. I mean, technically, yeah, like when you view bot or embed and you get put to the top of the list, technically you're pushing other actual non-cheating channels down, because Twitch only filters by like your order. But I don't know. We haven't streamed Armored Core 6. We haven't streamed Elden Ring.
We have not yet.
We could. You'll never know.
We should stream ourselves playing multiplayer Elden Ring.
We should. We gotta finish.
You gotta finish Elden Ring.
Gosh, dang it!
Oh,
I gotta finish Elden Ring too. That's true. Also, Daily Dana's in the chat. Hey, Daily Dana, welcome.
Hey-o.
Welcome. Daily Dana's a good Twitch friend of mine. We share a birthday. Don't say the name. Don't say what date that birthday is, cause
That's one of the security questions on all of your banking information.
That's also true. Yes. Hey Brandon, what's your porn name? What's your mother's maiden name?
What's your bank institution are you part of where they ask
what's
your
the
porn
last 4 digits of your social security number?
1111.
I'm sweating up a storm right now. Actually, it's like I feel like that happens whenever we.
Here too. I don't know why. I mean, it's all the lights. Because not that they're all just like LED lights. So they shouldn't be that hot. But I don't know.
I feel like it's the combination of like
many.
The ring light as well as like the added computational OBS that is adding to my PC. You know.
And the ribs. Don't forget the ribs.
And the ribs.
Jesus.
Yeesh. Welcome, Daily Dana. Thanks for being here.
Yeah,
much
welcome.
Appreciated. Daily Dana.
Yeah, go ahead.
Has been streaming daily this year. They have streamed all 254 days of the year so far.
That explains the name.
That's right.
Daily Dana. So much.
They stream a lot of City Skylines. They've been streaming some poker. They kind of do a varietal of different streams or different.
Suppose you'd have to if you're streaming every day.
You can't just fucking. I mean, some people make their nut streaming Fortnite every day.
That is true. That's very true. Daily Dana, how excited are you for the new City Skylines?
Oh, we're so excited. I talked to her about it. We're fucking thrilled.
I bet.
I just I was so jealous is the correct word, because a bunch of YouTubers who I watch got access to an early copy of City Skylines 2, and like yesterday.
DrawBomb didn't pull enough numbers to get you that early review code.
Crazy.
This is bullshit.
It's so fucked up. So like RT Games, Spiffing Brit, Call Me Kevin, they all streamed and they released their videos on the same day. And like they all did like their own aspects. Like Kevin, he's always just doing crazy shit in video games, like just trying to like basically create chaos. Same with RT Games, but his like chaos is usually more intentional. Like Kevin's just like bouncing from chaotic idea to chaotic idea in his Let's Plays, whereas RT Games is like, today we're gonna make a poop volcano, and then that's what they do. And then Spiffing Brit, I don't know if you've ever watched Spiffing Brit on YouTube, but
I haven't.
His channel is a lot of fun. He's specifically about finding exploits in games. So like he or like he's been doing a lot of like series where he like finds exploits in YouTube.
Okay.
And so
that's
like
funny.
Yeah, so like he like
on the platform like posting that stuff. That's funny.
Yeah, he like finds exploits on YouTube, and then like he's got like 3 million followers or subscribers on YouTube. So like he does have the ear of the YouTube staff, so anytime he like finds a flaw or an exploit, they end up fixing it like right afterwards.
So he's doing there's literally somebody, probably a team of people working at YouTube who do that job specifically, and they're all subscribed to him.
Yeah, exactly. So like he did a stream, he did like a live stream where he got everyone in his live stream to open up multiple windows of the same stream to rack the view count up. And then he also figured out that if they refreshed those tabs, or they had to specifically open a new window, but like he found that if they refresh those windows, that still added a viewer without taking one away. So he eventually got his live stream up to like 100,000 viewers, which was actually only like 10,000.
That's really funny.
He released a YouTube short because YouTube shorts recommend your thing based on like what percentage of watch time you get on the YouTube short. So if you get like 100% watch time, it's going to recommend your short to people. But if you get 200% watch time, it's going to recommend your short to way more people. So what he did was he made a YouTube short that was 1 second long. So if you watched it for 60 seconds, you had a 6,000% watch time, which then recommended it to everybody. So he just does shit like that. Yeah. I love his channel.
Man,
and so like, sorry, go ahead.
He gives away the game. Like he could be just very successful with what he knows how to do. But he is
very successful is the funny thing. He's still
sure, I guess he doesn't need it, right?
Yeah,
he's doing good without
he's still good. So like his City Skylines playthrough was he made a city. He made like 100 wind turbines, which the maintenance cost, like, so like in the new city skylines, you can apparently like export energy and like water and like any extra resource that you sort of farm in the game, you can export it for cash. But like for most of the things, exporting that excess of that resource doesn't quite match up with the cost of like maintenance for that thing that gathers that resource. So you can't like start a nuclear power plant and then just like sell the energy it sells. Like you do it for the excess to like save cash, but you're not going to like make money from it, except for wind turbines, which he found out the maintenance cost was so low that he was able to export the wind turbine electricity for a profit. So he made 100 wind turbines, sold all of that, like exported all of that energy and like just racked up money for his city. And then he put exactly one home in the city and made it the entire city for exactly one person. And that was his whole video. Yeah, but RT Games was, I think he had the best one. And I don't think I've watched everybody. I watched a lot of people who got early access to the city skylines, but I think I do think RT Games had the best gimmick, which was his gaming setup for his City Skylines 2 video. His desk or whatever like was, I guess everybody who did the City Skylines preview and like released their videos on the same day. It looks like they were, I haven't actually watched his video yet. It's like next to my queue, but it looks like everyone's sitting at the same table. And what happened was like the City Skylines people actually paid for a crane to lift the table up into the air. So like they're all actually playing the game like really high up in the sky, but like I think only RT Games actually like has a webcam focused on like the crane and like their table as he's playing. So like he's actually playing City Skylines 2 while also being suspended like really high up in the skyline of a city. And so like that's his video where he's like freaking out trying to play the game while also dealing with like heights.
Yeah,
but he's also intentionally making the city.
You don't like heights, right?
I'm terrified of heights.
Would you put yourself in that situation for an opportunity to play City Skylines 2?
Yeah, I mean I'd also be making money from it.
Okay, let's minus out the part where you get like a YouTube video out of it.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Okay,
it'd be an experience. Like I love roller coasters, don't get me wrong. Like okay. I hate heights where like, because like if I'm like near a ledge of something, like my mind vividly like just pictures me
jumping off.
Not jumping off, just tumbling over, like just like losing my footing and being like,
do you think, I always wonder this because I think everybody has that a little bit. That's kind of where the fear of heights comes from. But do you think there's like I don't know how to put this into words. Do you think there's like, can you visualize it hard enough that you accidentally then do just like fall off? Like, because I feel like that's the fear. It's like, what? Well, no, I'm not gonna fall off. But what if like I was just like for some reason, like, whoa? Like,
you'll find
no
out.
Reason for it.
You'll find out when you read my obituary and it says I've fallen off a cliff.
There's no reason to be scared of like a ledge because you're not just gonna like. Well, I stepped on a pebble and lost my balance and fell off the edge. Like I don't know, it's like a weird fear.
But it does
psych yourself out by being extra scared of it and like then fall off.
It does manifest itself into very real vertigo, though, is the thing. Like when we went to Italy, like way back when, we went to this giant underground cave, and the cave was so huge. It was incredible, but like the cave was so huge, like think Dark Souls sized, like ludicrously huge cave. And so like you're in the cave and you can see across it, and you could fit a city inside this cave that we were in. And the cave was so big but still in such an enclosed space that I got vertigo being inside the cave. So like
I guess that's kind of how it would get you, right? Is like the vertigo or something.
The vertigo. So like when I'm near a ledge, I do feel that same sensation of vertigo. So like sure, like I'm not gonna like look over a ledge and like have an urge to jump off, or I'm not gonna be like, whoa, but like I might, because I start to get vertigo, and so I just I'm like, no,
pass out and fall off the edge.
No, not pass. Like you just get dizzy and like your footing.
Right. No,
like,
I know what vertigo is. I was just
But
I was trying to fight you on the reasons that you'd fall to your death.
It's okay. How dare you?
No, not like that. That's not how I'll die.
That's not how
I'd die.
I'm gonna die like the creator of Shin-Chan. I'm just gonna like be looking at a fucking cliff and then I'm gonna fall off of it.
God. Is that what happened to the creator of Shin-Chan?
Yeah, he was like climbing some mountain or some shit like that, and he had a camera with him apparently, and they have like footage of him like looking at a cliff ledge being like, whoa. And then like he was found at the bottom of it.
Jesus.
It's off. I mean, he made like 1,000 episodes of the show, so like, hey, the guy's legacy lives on. But yeah, that does suck. It's like it's not at all like, but like the creator of the Segway. You know how they died?
Did they try to jump like a drawbridge with a Segway? Like that was up?
No, but they fell off of a cliff with a Segway.
Oh.
So they died on their invention.
Boy. Well, at least they didn't live to see their stock numbers go down when they died, from dying on their own invention.
Yeah. And they didn't get to see their invention be overtaken by the much more convenient, but also equally forgotten about immediately after, like hoverboards and things like that. Remember hoverboards?
They're still the thing, aren't they?
I guess, yeah, I haven't been in a city for like the last 4 years, so I'm like, remember hoverboards, but I also haven't been
I never
in a
really saw
place.
people cruising around them on the streets, but I saw people play with them.
Yeah, I mean, when I was living in the city, like I would see people like riding a hoverboard either down the sidewalk or down the streets, causing a ruckus. Especially if you're in like a lane on the road.
I hate all that ruckus.
That ruckus.
It's like slow down and like so on.
Causing a ruckus, but yeah, I guess I'm like, remember.
Here.
I'm like calling hoverboards a dead fad, and I also just haven't been around people for a very long time. So, what do I know?
Crazy Kyle says, "What? I feel like afraid of heights from a ledge is so common." I think everybody has a weird pit in their stomach when they're near a ledge, unless it's like your job and you're around it all the time. And I think it's a funny. I wasn't saying I don't have that. I just think it's funny because I think it's a lot of it's in your head. Because, like, if you were standing on like a curb, you could walk along it no problem and you would never fall off. But if it was like, if you're standing on that same curb and it was over like 1,000-foot pit, like
yeah,
it would be terrifying. Even though you could easily walk across it when there was no danger,
Yeah.
But I think like you said, you get vertigo or you psych yourself out like from being scared.
That'll do it.
It's kind of funny that like that fear of like, well, what if I just like did a somersault off the edge by accident that I would never do?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's funny to me.
No, it's
real. I feel it too.
It's real. It is funny to consider that like it's literally just your mind being like, whoa, that's crazy.
Like your fear ends up being the thing that kills you.
Yep. It's a life lesson for you.
Don't be scared of anything or else you'll die.
You'll die.
If a lion comes at you, don't be scared and it can't hurt you.
Man, I'm just thinking now, I gotta get on my soundboard, I gotta get a voice clip of Boss Rootin' going, "Don't you do that!" Just cause I feel like we approach that voice and go like, "Oh, don't do that," so many times, but like I need to have, like, I've talked about it before, like the Boss Rootin' like tips on how to do a bar fight.
I need to revamp my soundboard and put some fresh new bits on there.
I don't know if I've shown you all the Owen Wilson wows. I haven't shown.
You showed them off last episode.
Oh, it did? Okay, well then
I believe so.
Wow.
I could be wrong. Wow. Maybe go through a few of them as you are.
Well, I wanted to do like a sad wow, like oh.
Give me the good one real quick.
Okay.
Wow. There it is.
But yeah, heights, not about them. There was this one guy. I remember. I still like my skin shrivels up thinking about it. He was a dude who I knew him from college. I met him in freshman year. As far as I know, he's still alive. So that's
good.
just
Thanks for
spoil
giving
the
me
story.
that before you continue the story, because that's what I was worried about. As you were like, "This reminds me of this guy I used to know." I'm like, oh.
No, he's still, as far as I know, he's
Rest
still
in
alive
peace,
and well.
guy.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Um,
Great news.
But I remember the one time I was hanging out, we in college, we had the dorms. We were on like the 5th floor. My one friend was on the 7th floor though. So I was hanging out with him on the balcony the one time. And then this friend lived on the 8th floor. And so he's on his balcony. He hears us talking. And he literally like climbs over and hangs upside down to the point where we could see his head. Like hanging out below his balcony, but like above our balcony. He's just like hanging there. Going like, hey guys, what's up? And I'm just like, you know?
Yeah, I can't speak to you right now.
Yeah, I was
I don't want to witness your death that's about to happen.
Yeah. Like, kudos to him for having the balls to do that, but...
also, congrats on still being alive if he is. Like, you're beating the odds every day by hanging off of shit.
Good for him for... His confidence apparently was well placed. Because...
You know, he looks death in the face and he says, yes, please.
That's right. He's like,
yeah! Some days you just want to fall to your death.
Sometimes you just want to break your body. Yeah. No, I want to get Boss Root and going, don't you do that.
Put it on the list.
But I need to make a list is what I need to do.
Add it to the list.
I know we made a list like way back.
Yeah.
I know we made a list like way back in the day when we were being like, oh, we should do a soundboard, and you had done a soundboard and I hadn't.
I did it first, and you were like, here's all the things you got to put on it.
Yeah.
You gave me like 1,000 things, and I don't know if I have that list anywhere.
It's okay if you don't, because I like. It was obviously me asking a lot to have you do like 8,000 sounds and put it like.
I make a lot of lists, so like if you go into like the list app on my phone, it's just like there's like 40 of them. So sometimes I go through there and delete some to try to make it not that way.
Yeah.
But my brain requires list making if I'm gonna accomplish any tasks.
I used to make way more lists, and then I realized that I never look at them. Except I have looked at them on occasion, like that one list I made of commercial ideas for DrawBomb and things like that. But
I use mine quite a bit. I like just need it. I think it's like I'm not gonna self-diagnose ADHD, but it's some kind of weird brain thing where I need some kind of tangible like checking things off a list to get stuff done.
Yeah, like
it helps me. It ups my productivity by a lot if I can just get that little like dopamine of like checking a box, or it just helps me remember to do it because like I don't like the object permanence thing where like I'm like I have to do this, and like the next day it's just gone unless I wrote it down.
Yeah, I like
poo brain. Got poo brain.
I do need a list, but I also never look at my lists. Like I used to make so many lists because I needed them, and then I think also I was making a lot of lists for things that like I'm gonna do down the road, and then like I never hit that road, you know.
Number one on the list: make a list.
Yeah. Number one, do the list.
You got to do that one, or else you're just not getting anything done.
Yeah.
Yeah. On mine, we did that at the exact same time.
Oh hey. We were slightly delayed on mine, but I feel like if we were in person, we would have done it.
Yeah, we still would have. Oh well.
A motherfucker. Yeah. Hey, someday we'll have a big old studio we can record these episodes in. We'll be there.
I don't know if that'll ever happen, but if it ever does, I'm very excited about it. Not just for the, like, you know, what that will unlock, but also just like, I feel like I'll be more like, there's a lot of like things I'd like to explore playing around with if we were like in the same space. Like I feel like I would want to build a set.
Oh yeah, like I feel like if we were to
like,
ever,
even if it was just like some like shitty like thing in my garage that we both sit in front of and it looks good on camera, like I would just like want to like play with a bunch of that kind of stuff if we were in the same space.
Yeah, I would 100% be down for having a set, because like Ludwig on YouTube, he has a podcast, and like their whole thing is like they have like a fake backyard with like a fire pit that they sit around and drink beer while they do their podcast, and I'm like, hell yeah, that's like exactly what I would do. Not exactly.
We could totally
obviously
do that stuff if you didn't live all the way over there. It's your fault. I'm on.
Jeez. But like if we were to have like a physical, if we were like there physically in person as we record these episodes, not only would we have a dope set that I would want to have made, but like I feel like we'd become a much more variety sort of show. Like we'd be doing way more bits and things like that, and like with like I'd get costumes. Like I would do it up. It'd be a lot of fun.
I would also do it up. So any rich people watching who want this, you're like, wow, that sounds like something I'd like to see. Just fund that, and it'll happen.
Yeah, come on.
Be our sugar papa.
I do think we probably, you know, just to keep it realistic, I don't think we'll necessarily hit that point. I think it's a good goal to work towards. But you know, I hope the DrawBomb channel pops off in some degree, that like it at least allows us to do something extra.
Yeah,
that would be cool. We're working on it.
I mean, this is all for fun, so I mean, as long as it keeps being fun, keep doing it.
Have a good time. I mean,
if it becomes more than that, that's excellent news, and then we get to have more fun.
Exactly.
But as it stands, all we've done so far has been in the sake of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So far. We've done this out of the goodness of our hearts for our fans.
Yeah, we're good people. This makes us good people, I think.
Yeah, this is charity. We should write this off on our taxes.
Just write that. DrawBomb.
Yeah.
That's what. Like, what the hell is that? And also, why did you do your taxes in crayon?
Hey, I don't tell you how to do your work.
Oh, we're able. You're being audited.
Yeah, we're talking back to the IRS agent who's actively like looking through our file. Like, hey, so yeah, whatever. Do you have the receipts though?
Receipts? That sounds like a lot of nonsense.
Yeah,
what even is a receipt? You know?
How do you fucking like?
What even is it?
You ever seen the way that word is spelled? You can't tell me that word's real.
Receipt? No.
Receipt?
No, I didn't save nothing that.
Get out of my face with that.
I don't subscribe to any kind of ideals that are spelt weird. I won't eat lasagna. I
won't eat bologna.
I won't eat lasagna or bologna.
Bologna.
And I won't keep receipts for my taxes.
That's right. Receipts. There's some other fun.
To have standards, you know.
Yeah. And I won't budge.
No. Nor should you. What are some other good ones?
What's your most favorite ridiculously spelled word?
Oh god, I don't have one locked and loaded.
Remember when we used to do this? I would ask, like, we've done this a lot, but I'll ask you a question.
I know. I'm so bad at it. Like, for somebody who, we do like improv shit, and I can handle that, I guess. But like, when you're just asking me stuff, I have nothing. I'm just like so terrible at being ready. I don't know why though. Like,
don't feel bad. Like, I only ask you those questions just because I've got an answer locked and loaded. Like, I think of something, and then I've got an answer, and I'm like, well, I'll ask you.
What's the worst one? I mean, there's definitely better answers, but like, it's fun to say like Wednesday.
Wednesday is a big one for me. Like, I have to, like, whenever I'm writing the word out, I'd like say it in my head, Wednesday, even though like.
Yeah, yeah. There's a few words that I like spell them or say them in like the way they're spelled as I'm writing them, just to keep it. Even though I'm a 30-plus-year-old man, and I still need to do that.
Do you still have to say the alphabet song if you're trying to like figure out alphabetical order?
To some degree, yes. If I'm trying to alphabetize something, definitely.
Okay.
Like if I'm like most recent thing I can think of is I have some records that I got in bulk, and some of them are some of them are good, a lot of them are good, some of them are trash, but I've been going through just listening to the ones that I don't know what they are. And like I have a bin for like keeper, or I have a bin for if I'm getting rid of them, or if I like them, then I put them on the shelf alphabetically. So then when I get to like a certain letter, I sometimes have to be like, LMNOP. Like in my head real quick.
Yeah, same. Kyle says, part of those things are the ways we were taught to remember them. If we were taught differently, you wouldn't have to. And that is true, yeah. Like, I've had to, like, retrain
if we weren't taught it to the tune of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, we would think of it differently?
Yeah. Because your brain is
so.
conditioned to remember the alphabetical order. I know.
What song could we have learned the alphabet to instead?
Well, no, you could probably, like, there's probably a way to learn the alphabet without having it in the context
Thunderstruck by
of
AC/DC.
Yeah, A B C D E F G H I J K.
Thunder. A B C D E F G H I J K. Thunder.
L M N O P. Thunder. L M N O P. Thunder. T U V.
WXYZ.
Thunder.
Oh God. No, I'm
A B C D E F G H I J K L M N O P. Thunder.
All right, guys. This is the new way
Yeah.
to keep track of the alphabet.
What's the worst song that you could memorize the alphabet song to? Mad World
I don't know about the worst.
by Gary Jules.
Wait, oh yeah, I was gonna say, it depends. Is it by Gary Jules or Tears for Fears?
No, Tears for Fears is way too upbeat. You gotta make it like depressing, like A B C D E F G H I J K L M N O P Q R S T U V O W X Y Z. I find it hard to tell you.
You just you sing that.
And I just go back to the song.
The alphabet.
Oh boy.
Gosh.
We're-
Quality content.
Yeah, this is what people definitely have signed up for. This is what people want.
And then we finished the stream, and me and Ian, we talked for a few minutes after the show, and we're both like, I don't get why people don't like this stuff.
Why don't we have more views? All we did was sing the entirety of Mad World.
I know the worst song. Actually, no, it'd be a good one. I was gonna say "Respect" by Aretha Franklin, but
Oh, that'd be great. I love that song.
I was thinking it would be confusing because you're like it already has letters, but
A B C D E F G H I J K L M N O P Q R S T U V W X Y Z. Respect.
A B C D E F G H I J K L M N O P Q R S T U V W X Y Z.
A B C D
Just a little bit.
It's the alphabet.
Man, we should make a
Oh,
kids
boy.
show. That's
We've
gonna
missed our
be-
calling.
I know.
Crazy
We
Cow
did.
says.
Our
Sorry,
last cartoon was about a Chuck E. Cheese band. Now we're doing the alphabet to songs like, you know, we got
Yeah.
the goods for this.
You know, I do think the Bouncy Lion pizza song's a little bit of a banger. I still got the
know.
ball pit lyrics in my head.
You should like, at least for shorts, you should cut a version of it with maybe without the kids screaming, and maybe we could do like a sing along like Bouncy Lion Head.
Oh,
or
that's
Pizza Slice,
brilliant.
like
I actually
going
love that
across, like,
idea.
the words.
You've put the bug. I'm gonna edit that. Like
More
this week.
content, baby.
More content. We have 140 subscribers left until we've hit 1,000. 140.
Hell yeah. You're the
I
drummer.
wanna. Do you see the DrawBomb? I wanna finish editing the Critter Cam episode 5 so that I can turn those into YouTube shorts, because those usually get us. I feel like Critter Cam episode 5, if not getting us over the edge, will get us into the 900s at least.
I just want to get over the edge, man. Just get me over that edge.
Edging, baby. I'm edging. Yeah, we're quality, smart, intellectual content.
Yeah, we're quality smart.
Quality smart. Brandon, you want to take a quick 5-minute break? I have to refill my water. I have to go to the bathroom.
Sure. Let's do it.
Righty. Folks, we're gonna be right back after these. Wait, is it 10 o'clock right now? Isn't this like the end of the show time?
Let's go to like 10:30.
All right.
We started late.
Yeah.
If you're cool
well,
with it, I
yeah.
shouldn't just say that without you. I put you on the spot.
Hey, I'm not the one who's I'm on no schedule, so I could go till 1 if we wanted to. So yeah, let's take a quick 5-minute break. We'll be back
Now
and
you
we'll
put
finish.
me on the spot.
Hey, do you want to do this show till 1 o'clock every night?
No.
God no. Yeah, 5-hour episodes. Hell yeah.
That sounds awesome though.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna be right back, folks, and see you in a jiffy, which is a metric unit. Bye. Oh, I should have gotten a beer. I heard you crack open a beer. I should have gotten myself a beer.
This is not a beer. This is just a
LaCroix?
sparkling water.
Oh, okay. A LaCroix?
It's a different brand, but basically.
So I had an experience with AI yesterday. I'm officially pro AI. Somewhat.
Whoa.
I mean, I was
Yeah,
actually
a lot of
never.
Artists are pretty fired up about AI for reasonable reasons. But
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
So
Not like-
you're on board.
I'm not 100% on board. Like, obviously, I think it needs to be fucking regulated to hell.
Yeah.
To make sure that people aren't like, oh, hey, I don't need to be air traffic control anymore. I'll have AI do it for me.
Well, not only that, but also like so. People aren't being stolen from, and also people's like aren't being
replaced essentially.
I mean, automation is always going to replace people in different
Yeah.
things.
I think we need to set up safety
When I say replace,
nets.
I'm talking like, let's not CGI actors into movies
Yeah,
and things like that.
That's just something I'm never gonna get behind. Like, I'm never
When
gonna.
I say
wanna...
replaced, I'm talking physically replaced. Like,
Yeah.
they're using your likeness like that, and that's not cool.
I don't think I'm ever gonna want to see a movie made by AI. I don't think that's ever gonna be something I
They're
want.
doing weird shit with it, man. Like Mandalorian, they keep having like young Luke, and he's just like, it's like a weird claymation monster, and like they're also doing AI with his voice now. So like he's talking to like a real actress who's like acting, and he's like, like it's like Microsoft Sam, but with like Luke Skywalker voice. It's weird.
Yeah, that is, and
They're overconfident about how good they think this looks because it looks weird.
it looks awful and it sounds awful. I will say the
Disney,
most.
they have all the money, so they're like, this is good, ship it.
Yeah, I would say the most ethical use of an AI voice in a Hollywood movie was for Val Kilmer in Top Gun, because like that man legitimately
He's
cannot
probably
talk
on
anymore.
board.
Yeah, like
I mean,
and like in the
autonomy
movie
is a big part of it. Like if the person's like, yeah, go wild, like do it, please. Like,
and
then
in the
sure.
movie, like it's his character, like they're not like replacing his voice. Like in the movie, they have like something like I think I haven't seen it actually yet, but like I believe in the movie, like he has a computer that he like talks through because his character kind of has cancer similar to what he went through to lose his voice. So like he's got like an AI voice replacing his voice in the new Top Gun, but it's also explained in the movie that that's what's happening. So it's like it's like they've still got Val Kilmer's character from the first Top Gun for this new one, and he's still able to act in it, but because he's literally like lost the ability to use his voice, that's like it feels more ethical in Top Gun, or at least from what I've heard, than that situation where like they're having weird, creepy young Luke.
Yeah, which maybe Mark Hamill's like on board. I'm sure the paycheck makes him on board, but at the same time, so there's different reasons to be like not a fan. Half the reason is I don't want actors being taken advantage of and stuff like that and being replaced. Yeah. But also, it looks bad, so there's that. But I mean, even if the actor's on board, it just looks weird and feels unnatural, and it takes me out of everything I'm watching immediately because it just looks so uncomfortable and strange.
Yeah,
and it's uncanny valley, like it's hard to be immersed in a story when you're staring at a weird skinwalker creature that you're like, something's wrong about you. You're not human.
Right. So the reason that I bring up the AI is because no, it's okay. It's okay. This is a discussion show. We're allowed to discuss things. The reason I brought it up is because yesterday I was watching our good friend Maddie F stream Sleeping Dogs. And I was reminded of a movie I watched. It was like a horror movie I watched with my ex like many years ago, 5 years ago, something like that. Bad movie. I didn't like it. But I couldn't think of the name of the movie. So I tried Googling, like, it's like a movie where like there's this monster, it's told from the perspective of the monster, and every night he has to absorb and kill somebody, and then he takes their form, and then like the next night he's got to kill and absorb somebody, and like that's just the movie, is he's got to keep doing that every night, and it's like his inner monologue as he's like doing this thing, and like he ends up like absorbing a woman he's like infatuated with, and then it's terrible. It's a bad movie. But I tried Googling the name of the movie, and it was like, I thought like the movie's name was like Becomer or something like that. It's something along those lines. And I was like, what is the name of this movie? So I was, the Comer. So the Edger. So I was Googling, and I was Googling, and I was Googling, and I could not find this movie. So I went to...
Googled till you could Google no more.
I couldn't Google any more gagas. And so then... I have access to Bing's AI chat search function thingy. And it's kind of like ChatGPT, but I actually like it a little bit more because it will actually cite its sources like that it pulls from. So I thought, like, why don't I ask the Bing AI? And so I did, and it fucking found that shit right away.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and like I had to choose, like the thing about the Bing AI chat is it gives you 3 options. You can search, you can ask it a creative question, you can have it do a balanced search, or you can have it do a precise search. And I don't know what the difference between balanced and precise is, but I figured precise I would try first, and there it just could not help me. But when I did the balanced search, just immediately right away, I asked it, I was like, hey, what's the name of this movie? The protagonist is a monster who must absorb a person or he dies. And then things like, hey, is it Life Changer? And I'm like, yeah, that's the movie. Thank you.
Is it the Becomer?
Unfortunately, that's not the name of the movie. But it fucking, like, what would have taken me like days of searching was solved instantly.
Impressive.
Yeah. And so actually right now I'm asking it to give me some ideas for character archetypes who could come out of the movie theater.
Nice. I like it being used as like a helper. I think that's when it's best.
Yeah.
And that's when everybody can get behind like the fact that it's like a cool technology.
Yeah, like there is use for AI as like a tool, but like when it's used to just like replace people, that's when it really, yeah, that's when it's no good. Dude.
I think I'm done with this background.
Nice. Looks good.
I was gonna make it like more of like a lab type environment, but this, I don't know, this works as long as it's not too busy looking.
I don't think it's too busy. I feel like the background maybe a little less saturated on like the background, so like behind it, because I feel like it's the same saturation as the TVs, and I kind of want the TVs to pull a bit more focus. Maybe that's all I can say.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Maybe a lighter color. Are the TVs getting changed too, or is that just an optical illusion?
Okay. You're seeing the screens changing because they're transparent.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think
if the room's dark, that might be good too.
I don't know. Tweak it to. I don't want to tell you how to do your jab, but
you're like, well, not like that.
yeah, I don't want to tell you like what to do it like.
No, but I'm just open to your opinion. But
I feel like lighter.
All the saturation. There we go.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Like maybe like a slight desaturation, like a -5, but like a lighter, more sky bluish tint to it to kind of separate it from that reddish brown, you know?
Sure. I'll get there. Don't you even worry.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. Bing AI is not giving me some very... I'm like asking it for like crazy... Like sometimes it's very good at what I'm asking it to do. And sometimes it's not.
Right.
But it is the Bing AI is good to ask questions sometimes. Like if I'm like having a discussion and like it's not the kind of answer like, oh, we can just easily Google this, get an answer. It does a nice job of like collating everything and putting it together, and it's kind of fun. But yeah, I gotta figure out some more crazy characters to come out of this movie theater.
You got this guy. How about we talked about a guy who just works at the movie theater.
Right.
That'd be a fun one. Just like he's like wearing the uniform. He has like a broom, and he's like, no, I didn't see the movie, man. I work here. So, what was your favorite part? When everybody left, because I didn't see the movie, like I just said.
Well, why did you
prefer this over the sequel or the previous film?
It's longer, so it's worse.
So when are we filming this?
Well, we haven't heard back from Abramson yet, but I did send an email saying the 19th, but he did say he would be away till a specified date. So I don't think we're going to hear back until that date has passed.
Well, that's all right. Do we want to invite any other friends for this first one, or do we want to just keep it simple and not just him and us for now?
I think let's keep it just him and us for now, just for the sake of simplicity, and also because I don't know how open he is to like you know, he's sort of like, it's going to be his first time improvising with us, so I don't know how much he wants to like throw off that dynamic. You know?
Sure.
I think future episodes we can definitely have way more people, but
the inaugural one is the one we're having on special guest.
Yeah.
Well, that's all right. It's gonna be fun.
I'm super excited. I'm so excited. Have you played any games lately? Are you excited for any games?
I have been playing Baldur's Gate 3 and Starfield almost exclusively lately.
How you feeling about Starfield?
Leaving you out.
How dare.
I love it now.
Okay.
Not that I like disliked it to begin with, but I will say of all the Bethesda games, this one has the slowest start.
That's saying a lot.
And I think well, I don't know. I feel like Skyrim, I was like immediately interested. Both Skyrim and Fallout do a good. And and also to be fair, I haven't really gotten involved before. I think Oblivion was like the first game of theirs I played, and I didn't even like really fully play it all the way through because I was younger and I just didn't really understand what they were doing. I don't know. I'm like, what? I picked up all the plates and now I can't walk. This game sucks. Like I didn't play that much of it, but it was the first one I dabbled in, and then I've only played the stuff after really. But I will say like both Skyrim and Fallout, all the Fallouts do this thing where they basically just like you open a door and then there's this big world and you're like, whoa, and then you like go. This one's a little bit more like, boop, you're in the middle of this world. Good luck. And I like when things aren't hand-holdy, but also because it wasn't, it felt slow to get the momentum of like, what should I be doing? How do I work this? There's a little tutorial stuff, but there's not that much. And so you're just kind of like, okay, so there's a universe that I can go to anywhere, do anything. What do I do? So like until you kind of get like, all right, I know how to sell stuff. I know how to get around. I know what gets me arrested. I know like who to talk to about this or that, or how to like navigate the UI, which is a little clunky in this one. Mm-hmm. It's slow, I think. So like it takes a minute to really like, I don't know. Now I feel like I understand the game and I know how to play it and I know how to like get around and do what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
And now I'm like feeling very invested in the same way I do with all their games. But getting to that point took me a while, I think.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm interested in
but I love
playing
it.
it. I'm excited to play it. You're right about how every Bethesda game has had that moment where it's like, all right, go, do your thing.
Usually, like in the Fallout games, it's literally your vault, or like the door swinging open.
Yeah, actually, except for Fallout
in
New Vegas, which is weird.
Oh yeah, you always wake up in a doctor's office in that one, right?
Yeah, you leave like his thing, and then I guess you have a fight with a gang, and then like once you fought the gang, then the game's like, all right, you're good.
You leave, yeah, you leave town and head out. But that
But
one
I do.
also like, it's a one world, and it has invisible walls in the form of enemies, so you're kind of
Yes.
like corralled. This is a little more like, you can kind of just go wherever you want in the universe now. And you're like, okay, bye. And you're like, what do I do, man? There's like,
Yeah.
like 1,000 planets of like. They were transparent about this, but like the majority of planets are pretty like. There's
Barren,
not much
right?
to do on them.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was more like icing on top. They weren't saying that that's the core gameplay thing. It was just like, hey, if you want to go wander around procedurally generated Bethesda dungeons, we have infinite of those. But then we also have the whole main game, which is bigger than anything we've made before.
Right.
That is like handcrafted. You know, nothing else is proc gen really.
Right.
So there's the handcrafted game, and then there's like bonus game if you want to go wander around like some proc gen planets.
Which I feel like everyone plays a Bethesda game for the wandering. Like you don't play a Bethesda game. Like I've never played a Bethesda game and then like played the main quest and been like, wow.
Well, all the side quest stuff isn't all proc gen, you know, either. Like there's
Right,
still a
yeah.
ton of great like stuff to wander into, random encounters and in dungeons or whatever you want to call them, like, you know, places to explore and side quests. Like that's a majority of what I've been doing, and I'm loving it. And you know, there's still a ton of handcrafted stuff. I don't know. I just felt like it was a slower start than some of their other games, but I love it now. Having a great time.
Nice. Well, cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited to play it when I eventually do.
Yeah, maybe next time you have Games Pass, or if you ever just get a copy of it.
Yeah, I'll probably play it through Games Pass because I'll be.
That's how I'm playing it.
Yeah. But I can't afford it at the moment. But I saw something that cracks me up. Is somebody made a ship in Starfield that is
a lot of great ones so far.
Yeah, I've seen some crazy ones. I've seen some crazy. I saw somebody make Homer Simpson an armored core, which is hilarious.
I think I saw that too, actually.
It's possible, yeah. You should, if you haven't. This is more to the viewers than to you, but check out the different like crazy builds people have made in armored core. There are some funny ones. But somebody made a ship in Starfield because like what they found out was that enemy AI of the other ships were programmed to fire dead center at like the XY coordinates of your ship. So somebody made like a ship that's essentially a wireframe box, and so like all the enemy AI is shooting and it's just going in between the ship
through. Yeah, it's like a big square.
Yeah.
And the cockpit's like at the top, and the wings and the guns are on the sides, and yeah, the enemies just shoot through the middle. They're like invincible ship.
Yeah, I love it. That's like whenever a new game comes out that has customization, I fucking love seeing what people have done with it. Like the ingenuity and creativity that you'll get out of people when you give them those tools is so, I don't know. It's like my favorite.
I agree. And it seems like certain games get more of it too. Bethesda games tend to like, the modding community is always passionate about like just doing crazy stuff to those games.
Yeah.
It's always fun to see what happens.
The Bethesda games are always like, I've seen some insane mods from like I saw one crazy mod for Skyrim. Like people are still modding Skyrim like years and years later.
Yeah.
And like the mods that people have made for it just get more ambitious with each year, and so like I'm excited for when people really get their hands on Starfield and like really, because like people are already modding it and like adding DLSS and this and that, but I'm super excited for like a year from now what people have modded it. Like I'm sure people will make it so like every planet's like actually fun to go on, you know? I'm sure that'll be a thing eventually.
I mean, the way it's set up, people will be able to like make their own planets, basically.
Which I think is cool as hell. Like I'm excited for people to really utilize that.
Yeah. That'll be cool as well. Ian.
Brandon.
Yeah, what do you think of the plug?
Well, we just released a new short on YouTube titled "Bouncy
That's what I was
Lion."
gonna say as well.
Oh, what? Do you want to say it? I feel like I stole all of your plugs last week.
No, go. Well, it's less plugging I have to do, which I'm okay with.
All right.
I don't like plugging for free.
Yeah, you gotta get paid to do those plugs. Make sure you try out
I'm always sick and tired of having to cook dinner after a long day of making DrawBomb.
Ingredients? Who's got time for those?
And when you go to the store, you come home with you're like, I only needed 1 carrot for this recipe. I have 300 carrots now.
Oh my God, no, carrots. So make sure we just released a new short called "Bouncy Lion Pizza Band Behind the Music." I think it's very funny.
Yeah, I like them. I like this one a lot.
I'm proud.
I
of
like
it.
them all a lot, but I really like this one.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like them. I'd hope so. No, but I'm a big fan of how this one turned out. It's another one of those situations where, like, going into the editing process, I'm just like, am I in over my head?
Wow.
Oh, Zone Dog here. Purple.
27 months.
That's a long time. It's a long time. Thank you for the sub, Zone Dog. Glad to see you.
We love you. We
love you. Yeah, Bouncy Lion Pizza Band Behind the Music just released on YouTube. I'm currently in the process of editing even more shorts, even more slightly longer form content. Zone Dog may or may not be making a 3D animation for the newest one. And if he is, he's got to get it done by this week.
Well, not by this week. I mean, we're just you have. I guess yeah, it'd be good if you did by this week.
by like Friday, but that's up to him. I don't want to like we're not paying, so
No.
We'll live without it.
And he's got real work to do.
Yeah, he's actually
Paying
employed.
jobs.
But Bouncy Lion Pizza Band on YouTube. I've got the next Critter Cam I'm working on. We've got DrawBomb tonight happening so soon I can hardly believe it. We should have like a meeting like off stream some point just to we talked about this. Yeah, other than that, check out the DrawBomb Plays channel where I've been posting snippets, shorts from our 3-hour in length or longer videos. Lately it's been clips of Brandon playing Resident Evil 4 in VR.
Wow.
I've noticed something. With the shorts, I've noticed that the shorts on the DrawBomb Plays don't get as consistently subscribers as the shorts have on our DrawBomb channel, because I think animation is just more rare, so when people see that, they're more excited to
I think
subscribe. But we are up to 17 subs on the DrawBomb Plays channel. Which isn't a lot, but it's more than 0, which is where we started. So
only 983 to go. To 1,000 as well.
Eventually, it'll all be part of the DrawBomb ecosystem, where followers from one channel will subscribe to the others.
The DrawBomb Cinematic Universe is
That's right.
We're building it, and if you look at our chart back here in 2027, DrawBomb Team 5 will come out, which is our action film we're working on.
That's right.
And in 2029, we have Young DrawBomb, where it follows the Draw Boy as a child.
That's right. The backstory you never wanted. There for you.
In 2030, we have DrawBomb After Hours. It's pornography. Watch the DrawBomb But it's, you know, for adults only, of course. We're not sickos.
We haven't streamed DrawBomb After Dark in some time. We used to do that much more regularly.
I know. We'll have to do some more. My internet's shittier now, but we haven't tested it really, so we should give it a go. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, then that's okay too.
I think we should definitely give it a shot. Sometime. We gotta fucking finish Ghost Recon one of these days. We're so close.
I know. We should
We're
do it
edging.
just for the sake of deleting the game off of our computers.
It would certainly free a lot of space on my
the
hard
best
drive.
part. It's gonna be the most exciting part of the game for me, is deleting it.
Speaking of games that we also started playing and haven't finished yet, the new Saint. So like, not to. I know.
Oh shit, that's right.
The Volition got closed down.
Oh, right. Well, if you want to play that soon, keep it. If you want to wait and play it some other time, you can delete it for now. You know,
I might, but I'm also like we're so close. I feel like 2 more nights of playing.
I wasn't talking about Ghost Recon. I was saying Saints Row.
No, I know. What I'm saying is we're so close to finishing Ghost Recon. I feel like 2 more nights of playing it, we're gonna get close. Like we'll be like on the cusp. So like I feel like we're so close to finishing Ghost Recon. I you know, the installation status of Saints Row on my computer. We'll see. But at the same time, like once we finish Ghost Recon, like I'm ready to dive headfirst into Saints Row.
Okay.
You know?
Oh yeah.
Anyways, yeah, watch DrawBomb Plays, watch DrawBomb. We also upload all of our episodes of this show onto the DrawBomb Live YouTube channel. We have 3 YouTube channels with a combined follower count of about 900, I would say.
Wow.
I am
900 suckers.
right, a bunch of idiots. Aside from that, I don't know. Go listen to my Spotify, Superfly Arturo, on Spotify or Apple Music or wherever the fuck you listen to your music.
Follow us on all the things.
Well, yeah, the Instagram where it's draw_bomb. Cause like some 13-year-old kid got DrawBomb.
Yeah, he stole it. I mean, he drew a bomb one time and then there's nothing else there.
Yeah.
Damn it.
God damn.
He got us. I'm gonna offer him $1 billion for his account, or we'll just take it.
Yeah, we'll do it like we, like we predicted Elon Musk would do. Which I still think that's so fucking funny.
That's so funny.
Like, we're the
hard to
Simpsons, bro.
Dumb people are predictable.
True. Dumb assholes.
Yep.
Elon's a dumb asshole, is what we're saying. Elon Musk is a dumb idiot, asshole, bitch, bastard.
Whoa.
Not a fan of that guy. I don't know if you could tell.
What? You're not? I can't tell.
Whoa. Anyways, I don't know. What else is there to plug? Is there anything else to plug? Have we gone on long enough?
That's it.
Okay. Well, folks.
Just follow us, you know.
For the love of God.
Please.
Please, we're drowning.
Oh boy.
Bomb is recorded live from studio audience.
We appreciate everybody. Thanks, Crazy Kyle, Leviathan, Zone Dog, Daily Dana, Xenoots. We love you.
Love y'all.
You're real pals.
Everybody, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.